Festival. I'm not sure whether to say Festech Festival, but it's just Festech. And there are a whole lot of things that are happening there, and she'll be bringing us more when she comes back next week. And today on the show, it's going to be a rather different tune or journey or experience for you that we'll be taking. We have a lot happening. We've got our four different language desks of your service today because we are still in celebration, or rather continuing the celebration of Africa Day, which was on the 25th of May, which was Thursday for us here in South Africa. And we are broadcasting live from a beautiful prison break market here in Lone Hill, Kyalami. Some would say it's Midrand, but listen, Google, Google, Google. And I've got my colleague here, the French desk colleague. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself because I understand I'll be meeting a lot of people and interacting with a lot of people speaking different languages. So it means I'm going to actually learn quite a lot today.
You should.
Yeah,
You
please
should allow
introduce yourself to me and our listeners.
Bonsoir, bonjour à tous les auditeurs qui nous suivent. How are you doing?
Lochani,
Locha-
Yapilujani. That's me in
You're starting too
Isindebele.
early. I mean, she's starting me too early.
It's beautiful. It's always
Yeah, it's
good to
beautiful.
learn early.
Isn't it too cold to be outside?
No, it's a
It's
beautiful
beautiful, huh?
breeze.
It's a
It's a beautiful breeze.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah. So what's happening on the French desk today?
So today we're talking about the. Okay, firstly, the listeners know that I'm French, right? So my English might just be rocky sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, but just they should understand. Yeah?
All right.
So we're talking about the impact of the African music in the world.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What are we bringing as African into the music industry?
And who are you going to be bringing with? Are you going to have an interview?
Yes, I have well, quite of an expert in music.
Yeah.
Yannick. Well, I'll be talking to him, and we will be discovering what are we bringing as African in the, as I said, as African in the
Beautiful.
music industry.
And let me tell you what I'll be talking about today on the show after you.
All right.
I'm going to have, I don't know if you know the popular bishop or rather philosopher Joshua Maponga. He's Zimbabwean and he speaks everything African culture, diversity, multilingualism.
I might know the face.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know if it's the person that I'm thinking of. There's a person I have on my mind right now.
He
but-
also has a beard just like you,
Oh,
quite a knowledgeable
right.
man.
Okay, well.
So we're going to be extracting a lot of knowledge from him. We're going to be
Okay.
talking about the importance of language and rather African languages
Okay.
and how it can help us. And I was actually reading something where it states that it's good actually for economic trade, and we
It
overlook
allows.
that.
I mean, if we can communicate, let's think about it this way. We think we have our own dialects, yeah, but French, English, Portuguese allows us to connect.
Yeah.
Because without English, you and I wouldn't be able to communicate, right?
I understand the official language thing, but I think we should also be able to just communicate in our different African languages, indigenous African languages, and still understand each other.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
But I think that we speak different. You let's say you Tswana and I'm Zulu.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Our languages are different, right? So we had to find a common ground where we can actually communicate,
Yeah.
and that's English.
True.
Otherwise, I will have to learn your language, and you will have to learn mine in order for us to do business together.
Which is fine. I'm not disputing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also saying we should just be able to express and be able to talk in our indigenous languages. I mean, for instance, kids in schools in rural areas, if they were taught mathematics and other subjects in their respective languages, indigenous languages, don't you think they are,
They will understand it better.
way better? Because that's what you speak when you get home. So it's going to be quite easy for you to understand when a teacher standing in front of you speaks and says all things.
Just as it's easy for me to present in French than in English, right?
Absolutely. So I think we should all embark on a journey of learning different African languages, not just one, not just French because you're French speaking. You must learn Swahili, I must learn Portuguese.
Well,
I've been learning.
I tried a bit of Swahili.
Okay.
I've learned a little. Well, I know basics. Yeah. Plus Swahili, there's so many versions of Swahili, and
Yeah.
it's just it gets complicated at times.
But what's beautiful is we are going to be having all 4 different language desks that we have here on Channel Africa. Like we have French now, we're going to have Swahili, we're going to have Chinyanza, and we're also going to have Portuguese, Tudo bem, como estás? That's all I know. So right now, let's just go to a song, and we'll come back with you and your guest shortly.
All right, thank you so much.
Perfect.
Have you been struggling to find Channel Africa?
Oh yes, where can I find you guys?
Well, you are in luck.
Warning, radioactive zone detected.
Listen to the African perspective on our brand new SABC Plus app. Download the fresh and easy to use app from sabcplus.com or the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Or just command your phone to find SABC Plus on your phone and check out all this good stuff. And that's where you will find Channel Africa, the African perspective. Oh yes, this is fresh and easy. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet, Channel 802. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Send me a love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way where you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts have trouble me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need, right? Yeah, I really need my love. I really need, I need to free my love. I really need your love. I need to free my mind now. I really need your love. I really need, I need to free my love. I really need your love. Oh yeah, just let me free, freer than the open mind, farther than the eyes can handle, freer than the ocean now. Yeah, yeah, just set me free. Now I need to find relief. Set me to the open sky. Now I need to free my mind. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, I'm coming back to you.
Nous sommes ici à Prison Break Market où nous passons cette émission de célébration. Nous sommes encore en train de célébrer la fête de l'Afrique. Nous avons célébré depuis le 25 et nous sommes ici de retour à cet endroit merveilleux sous ce froid pour discuter avec vous qui suivez cette émission. Bonne fête, nous fêtons l'Afrique ensemble. Nous avons Yannick Zungula qui est un expert dans beaucoup de domaines. Avec lui, nous allons discuter de l'impact de la musique africaine dans le monde. Hein? Donc, auditeurs, bienvenue à cette conversation. Nous aurons quelques minutes à discuter de la musique africaine.
Exactement, Jean-Jacques. Merci pour cette opportunité.
Donc,
oui.
la première question que les gens se posent, hein, parce que nous célébrons l'Afrique, nous voulons honorer ce que nous sommes en tant qu'Africains, mais dans le domaine de la musique, parce que c'est un samedi et nous voulons passer des bons moments, qu'est-ce que l'Afrique a apporté depuis que l'Afrique existe? Hein? Qu'est-ce que l'Afrique a apporté dans la musique du monde en général? Pensez-vous que l'impact de la musique africaine dans la musique du monde se fait sentir?
Définitivement, Jean-Jacques. La musique africaine, déjà de son origine, a cet aspect de toujours accompagner chaque étape de la vie. Alors, si nous allons un peu en arrière, quelques décennies en arrière, nos ancêtres utilisaient la musique pour être en mesure de passer des moments qui étaient très difficiles.
De communiquer avec les esprits.
Oui. Et déjà, la musique avait cet aspect de calmer certaines émotions. Et aujourd'hui, la musique africaine est à un certain niveau où elle accompagne chaque étape de la vie. Alors en Afrique déjà, à chaque fois qu'il y a une fête, à chaque fois qu'il y a un rituel, il y a toujours une certaine musique qui accompagne ce genre de choses.
Non, mais il y a pas que... Il n'y a pas que les rituels, il y a tout ça, il y a les deuils, il y a même des protestations. Hein? Ici, on danse même quand on est en colère.
Exactement. Hein? ce qui déjà donne cette importance à la musique africaine, parce que la musique africaine, si je dois la comparer avec les autres types de musique, c'est qu'elle a toujours un message qu'elle passe derrière elle. Ce n'est pas juste une musique qui n'a rien à soutirer dessus, mais il y a toujours un message derrière.
Mais on dirait, disons, si je prends la musique en général, la musique c'est juste un vecteur, un véhicule qui permet de passer un message.
Exactement.
Si tu nous dis, permets que je tutoie, si tu nous dis que la musique africaine n'est pas comme les autres musiques, n'es-tu pas en train de piétiner les autres artistes qui ne sont pas d'Afrique?
Je dirais...
Parce que je pense que chacun d'entre nous trouve un message à passer.
Oui.
Il y en a qui font de la poésie, il y en a qui font de la musique pour transmettre un certain message.
Oui.
Penses-tu que c'est seulement dédié aux Africains?
Je dirais que nous sommes experts en cela. Parce que non seulement nous avons cette qualité de passer un bon message, mais au-delà de ça, nous avons aussi de la danse. Notre musique s'accompagne de certaines danses qui sont formidables. Et aujourd'hui, dans le monde, cet impact est vraiment observé partout dans le monde. Tout le monde veut danser comme un Africain. Tout le monde veut bouger comme un Africain.
Nous sommes en conversation avec Yannick Zungula. Nous parlons de l'impact de la musique africaine dans la musique du monde. Nous sommes ici au Prison Break Market à Fourways, à Johannesburg, où nous célébrons la fête de l'Afrique. Nous parlons à Yannick et avec lui, nous célébrons ensemble cette fête. Hein? L'Afrique célèbre la fête internationale et c'est célébré partout. Hein. Il y a des Africains qui sont en Europe qui ont célébré la journée de l'Afrique. Il y en a qui sont aux États-Unis et tout ça, tout ça. Ça représente quoi de célébrer l'Afrique en musique?
Alors, déjà, comme je l'ai dit, la musique est originaire d'un moment très, très compliqué dans l'histoire de l'Afrique. Alors, nos ancêtres ont commencé de la musique pour être en mesure de traverser ce moment qui n'a pas été facile, qui n'a pas été du tout, comment je vais dire, juste par manque de mots, qui n'a pas été si facile à gérer. Alors, à chaque fois que nous célébrons la musique, ou nous célébrons l'Afrique au travers de la musique, c'est aussi un rappel que nous sommes venus de quelque part, que nous avons grandi d'une certaine étape, que nous avons grandi de certains challenges pour arriver où nous sommes aujourd'hui.
Nous aurions aimé parler du parcours que l'Africain, par où l'Africain est passé
Oui.
pour être où il est aujourd'hui. Mais je voudrais qu'on rentre dans la musique parce que nous sommes en train de discuter de la musique.
Oui.
Que penses-tu, et je pense que cette réponse n'a pas encore été donnée, que penses-tu que la musique africaine,
Oui.
comment compares-tu la musique africaine à la musique d'outre-mer? Qu'est-ce qui fait la différence de l'Afrique? À part le fait que j'ai discuté d'ailleurs, que la musique, non, écoutez, nous passons un message. Penses-tu qu'il y a autre chose de plus profond que le message passé dans la musique africaine?
Ok, je dirais, il y a le beat, il y a la danse,
Ok.
et il y a aussi la culture.
Tu
Alors,
voudrais peut-être te lever et nous montrer ce que- Non?
j'aurais bien aimé, mais j'ai pas assez d'espace pour le
Oh,
faire
ok,
ici.
ok. Nous sommes à l'extérieur, hein?
Nous sommes à l'extérieur.
Nous sommes à l'extérieur, nous sommes à l'extérieur. Nous sommes En fait, cet endroit, c'est un nouvel endroit. Ça fait 2 ans que cet endroit a été construit. Ça s'appelle Prison Break Market. Et c'est ici que nous avons choisi de célébrer la fête de l'Afrique. Maintenant, dans une fête, parce que tu nous as dit l'Afrique, en Afrique, la musique c'est partout, ok?
Oui.
Mais je suppose qu'il y a des genres de musique différentes pour chaque événement,
Oui.
c'est ça?
Oui.
Et pour la fête de l'Afrique, quel est le genre de musique que tu penses qu'on peut jouer pour ceux qui nous suivent en ce moment? Nous voulons partir en musique,
Ok.
mais avant de partir en musique, qu'est-ce que tu penses que nous pouvons offrir aux auditeurs de Channel Africa qui nous suivent de partout?
Définitivement une musique où chacun sera en mesure de danser, sera en mesure d'exhiber un pas de danse, parce que c'est l'une des choses qui nous caractérise au fait. C'est qu'avec chaque musique africaine, il y a cet aspect où il y a un moment qui est consacré à une certaine chorégraphie.
Nous voulons dire bonne fête à Patrick Kakouji, bonne fête à Pamela Kumba, bonne fête à tous ceux qui suivent cette émission en ce moment. Nous parlons musique avec Yannick Zungula, nous parlons de l'impact de la musique africaine dans la musique du monde. Et cet impact, personnellement, je pense que l'impact est senti dans prenons quelqu'un comme Michael Jackson.
Oui.
Michael Jackson qui a emprunté, qui avait dans le temps emprunté un extrait d'une musique africaine.
Exactement.
Hein?
Oui. Mhm.
D'une musique swahili. C'était
Mhm.
swahili,
Oui,
je pense,
oui, oui.
dans le temps. Et
Oui.
c'était
Je me souviens
Yeah.
pas très
Exactement.
bien des paroles,
Donc-
mais exactement.
Donc un
je vois.
Américain,
Oui.
donc un Américain qui prend la musique africaine. Est-ce que tu penses que cela prouve la puissance ou la force de la musique africaine dans le monde? Y a-t-il plusieurs exemples comme ça que nous pouvons prendre à part Michael Jackson?
Oui, définitivement, parce que nous avons de nos jours certains artistes qui non seulement vous rappent simplement, mais dans ce rap, à un certain moment, il doit y avoir cet aspect, comme je disais, cet aspect de chorégraphie, cet aspect de danse, et ça vient de l'Afrique.
Parlons Tina Turner.
Ok.
Nous avons perdu Tina Turner, qui est une musicienne internationale, mais une noire venue d'Afrique.
Oui.
En Amérique déjà, en anglais, on dit African American.
Yes.
Ça veut dire africain et puis
Et
américain.
puis américain, c'est ça.
Quel est ton message? Perdre une âme comme celle-là qui est venue de l'Afrique, parce que pour nous, nous la réclamons comme africaine. Quel est ton message à ceux qui nous suivent en rapport avec le décès de Tina Turner?
Alors oui, c'est déjà une perte dans le monde de la musique. Elle a été une icône qui a, dans différentes générations alors, impacté par rapport à la musique. Et la voir partir, c'est définitivement très triste. Mais alors je demanderais qu'on puisse célébrer ce qu'elle nous a légué de son vivant, sa contribution à la musique, ce qui a été déjà quelque chose de très grand.
Nous sommes en train de perdre plusieurs artistes depuis un temps. Il y a plusieurs artistes qui sont partis, et qui est parti. Il y a Kosatic qui est parti.
Oui.
Il y a plusieurs artistes qui sont en train de partir. Et il y a plusieurs rumeurs, surtout qu'on est en Afrique. Il y a plusieurs rumeurs autour des raisons qui font à ce que, pas les raisons visibles, les raisons que nous voyons, mais les raisons cachées derrière le rideau de ce qui se passe exactement, pourquoi nous perdons. Tu penses, toi particulièrement, en tant qu'artiste aussi d'ailleurs, je signale que Yannick Zungola est un artiste complet, un artiste complet. Il est MC, modérateur d'événements, il est un présentateur d'émissions, il est complet. Donc, toi en tant qu'artiste, ok, ne prenons pas le côté spirituel des choses. Qu'est-ce que tu penses qui se passe en ce moment? Qu'est-ce que nous pouvons faire pour changer les choses? Est-ce que nous pouvons aider? Parce que il y a la santé mentale de gens qu'il faut prendre en compte. Qu'est-ce que nous pouvons faire pour aider nos artistes?
Alors, je crois déjà qu'on a cette impression que toute personne qui apparaît dans n'importe quel domaine a tout ce qu'il faut. Alors, je vois Jean-Jacques en train de présenter cette émission. Je le vois très souvent sur Channel Africa. Chaque samedi, je le suis. Et la première impression que j'ai, c'est que...
Merci pour la publicité.
C'est un plaisir. Alors, l'impression que j'ai déjà, c'est que Jean-Jacques a tout. Tout va bien dans la vie de Jean-Jacques et que il n'a rien qui...
Il ne manque rien.
Il ne manque rien, voilà.
Il n'y a pas de défaut.
Il n'y a pas de défaut, exactement. Du coup, on n'approche pas toute personne par rapport à ce qu'ils sont comme humains. Mais on se donne déjà une image pour dire que non, vu qu'il fait la une, c'est que tout va bien dans sa vie. Mais il y a de ces gens, surtout dans ce domaine de la musique, qui passent par des moments très difficiles.
Nous parlions à Yannick Zungola. Merci Yannick pour être intervenu dans cette émission, dans ce programme, ici, à l'extérieur, dans ce market, Prison Break Market. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Nous allons redonner l'antenne à la présentatrice principale. Mais entre-temps, nous partons avec Tidi Malo, nous offre quelque chose. Tidi. Tidi, tu es là?
You also can find Channel Africa on satellite. Satellite channel PAS10. ngati uli oyimba watsopano yemwe akufuna kuti nyimbo zake zifike kwa anthu ambiri kapenanso kuti zimvedwa pa wireless, ife tikuthandiza kuti izi zichitike. Chitani izi: tumiza nyimbo zako pa tsamba la internet la music@channelafrica.co.za limodzi ndi dzina la nyimbo, ISRC code la oyimba, mkonzi, chilankhulo, chamba ndi olemba nyimbo zako. Mvera nyimbo yako ya pa tsiku pa wireless yomveka bwino ndi Channel Africa ndi nyimbo zako. Sungaboweke kamba kokuti ife tisewera nyimbo yako. Mvera nyimbo zabwino mu Africa pa Channel Africa. Kalilole wa Africa.
Sivulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna ukuphilisa soft life. Konko. Sivulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna ukuphilisa soft life. Konko. Sivulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna ukuphilisa soft life. Konko. Sivulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna ukuphilisa soft life. Masihlale phansi sicobelelane ngolwazi esinalo. Silekelelane, kumele impilo ibe njalo. Oh please. Uma kufeswa, ngicela ungikhumbule now. Oh please. Makujatshulwa ngibize ngijabule now.
pili soft life, soft life. Kon 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 kon, sifulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna pili soft life, soft life. Kon 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 kon, sifulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna pili soft life, soft life. Kon 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 kon, sifulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna pili soft life, soft life. Tela ningiphathe man hey, uma nilibangise, kwanhliziyo ngise, bathu bomnanda bupheli. Tela ningiphathe man hey, uma nishawa umoya, ningabi nonyama kholwa. Wow, sawoza mngani, sibonge impilo kulesi sikhathi, sitshele thule. Njengamathole ungancishi nice life. Wow, sawaza mngani, sibonge impilo kulesi sikhathi, sitshele thule. Njengamathole ungancishi nice life. Kon 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 kon, sifulele, ingasivaleli ngaphandle. Nathi sifuna pili soft life, soft life.
Channel Africa, playing nothing but African music all day.
Na msikilizaji wa Channel Africa idhaa ya Kiswahili, tukiwa bado katika maadhimisho ya siku ya Mwafrika, siku ya Afrika. Na kumbuka tu ya kwamba tukiwa tuko live moja kwa moja kutoka Prison Break Market, tukiwa Johannesburg nchini Afrika Kusini, tukiwa tunakuletea matangazo haya msikilizaji ya idhaa ya Kiswahili. Na nikukumbushe tu ni kwamba tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele, mimi naitwa I am Henry Shikifu. Karibu sana msikilizaji. Kumbuka tu ya kwamba linapokuja swala zima la kuwa Mwafrika, kwanza ni sifa na tunajivunia, lakini kubwa zaidi tuna mgeni wetu ambaye tumemwalika hapa studio, ambaye tutazungumza naye moja kwa moja kutoka nchini Tanzania, ambaye atakuwa na mambo mengi kabisa ya kuweza kutuambia kuhusiana na nini maana ya kuwa Mwafrika, lakini nini cha kujifunza kama Waafrika. Tuendelee kutunza tamaduni zetu kama Waafrika na vitu kama hivyo. Na mgeni wetu siku hii leo si mwingine ni Deodatus Balile. Huyu ni mwenyekiti wa jukwaa la wahariri kutoka nchini Tanzania. Yeye tutakuwa naye hapa na tutaweza kumuuliza maswali mbali na kadha wa kadha kuhusiana na Africa Day siku hii ya leo msikilizaji, siku ya Mwafrika. Na moja kwa moja tuende tukamsikilize. Habari yako? Nadhani mawasiliano si mazuri sana, lakini pia naweza nikaendelea kufahamisha msikilizaji, utamaduni ni jinsi binadamu anavyokubali maisha katika mazingira yake kila siku. Hilo ni jambo muhimu kabisa kwa siku hii, lakini hii ni pamoja na ujuzi, imani, sanaa, sheria, mila, desturi ambazo tayari mtu anajipatia kama mwanajamii. Hizo ni mila na desturi kwa sisi wa Afrika, naweza nikasema hivyo. Na kumbuka tu ya kwamba pia Waswahili wanasema msahau mila ni mtumwa, au msahau kwao pia ni mtumwa. Tunatakiwa tulinde na kudumu tamaduni zetu na mila zetu na desturi za Mwafrika. Kumbuka pia katika makala hii tunaangazia baadhi ya tamaduni zinazoonekana na kuwa za kipekee kutoka katika baadhi ya mataifa ya Afrika msikilizaji. Na nikiwa bado naendelea kumsubiri mgeni wetu kutoka katika jukwaa la wahariri Tanzania, na moja kwa moja tutaweza hapa kufahamu yale yote ambayo tutakuwa nayo siku hii ya leo. Tunaendelea bado kumtafuta katika line zetu za simu na kuweza kufahamu mengi kabisa kuhusiana na siku hii ya leo, siku ya Mwafrika, African Day. Na kumbuka tu ya kwamba kuna mila mbalimbali, naweza nikasema hivyo, kuhusiana na siku hii ya Afrika. Waafrika kama Waafrika tunapaswa kujivunia mila na desturi zetu ambazo zimejiwekea sisi wenyewe. Na moja kwa moja tayari naambiwa mgeni wetu yuko tayari kwenye line. Mwenyekiti jukwaa la wahariri Tanzania, Deodatus Balile, habari yako?
Tunamshukuru Mungu za hapo Joburg.
Hapa Johannesburg sisi ni wazima kweli kweli na tunafurahi. Unajisikiaje kuwa Mwafrika?
Kwa Mwafrika ni tunu, ni zawadi ya pekee kutoka kwa Mungu.
Naam.
Kwa maana ya kwamba aliniumba na akaona ninastahili kuwa hapa Afrika, jambo ambalo siwezi kujutia, na ninamuomba Mwenyezi Mungu hata uzao wangu uendelee kuwa hapa Afrika.
Na kama tunavyofahamu, kama sisi wa Afrika tuna mambo mengi, mila zetu na tamaduni zikiwa tofauti tofauti, lakini nyingi zikiwa zinafanana. Namna ambavyo unafahamu mila na tamaduni za Mwafrika, kama kuna hii utamaduni wa mjane kulala na maiti, hii tamaduni ilianzia wapi na nini hasa chanzo chake?
Kwanza niseme kwamba kuna kitu kinaitwa Ubuntu. Hii Ubuntu inakwenda karibu kila sehemu, ambayo kwa tafsiri ya haraka kwa waamini wa kanisa Katoliki ndio ile kwenye maandiko matakatifu tunaambiwa kwamba wanafunzi walimuuliza mwalimu wakisema ni ipi amri iliyo kuu kuliko zote, akasema upendo. Kwa hiyo lolote linalofanyika katika Afrika mzizi wake hasa unakuwa ni upendo. Na kwa mfano hiyo ya kusema mjane kulala na maiti, na si kwamba ni mjane tu, katika familia nyingi akifariki mtu, wakati wanawasubiri ndugu walioko mbali ili mazishi yafanyike. Kumbuka Afrika miundombinu ya kupeleka miili ya watu waliofariki mortuary haipatikani sehemu nyingi sana. Ni sehemu chache za mijini ambapo mgonjwa anaweza akafariki, binadamu akifariki anapelekwa mortuary. Lakini sehemu nyingi sana kwa Afrika akifariki mtu, walikuwa na teknolojia mbalimbali za kudhibiti harufu isitokee bila hata treatment ya mwili, lakini wangeweza kukaa hata na mwili wa mtu aliyefariki kwa siku hadi 10 na asivunde wala kutoa harufu. Na inafahamika katika makabila mengi kwamba wengine wanatumia maji, wengine wanatumia mayai. Sasa hizi teknolojia ambazo zilikuwa highly sophisticated zilipuuzwa, ikaonekana kwamba ni za kienyeji, na hilo neno lilivyotumika likadunisha fikra za watu. Lakini ilikuwa inawezekana kabisa kwamba moja, wanaonesha upendo na ndugu yao, kwamba si kwamba wanamkimbia. Unaweza kwenda baadhi ya mabara hata wakati wa kuzika ndugu hawafiki. Wanafika, kuna kampuni maalum za mazishi, zikifika zinachukua mwili zinampeleka kwenye maziko. Basi wameagana naye, wengine wanachoma moto. Lakini sisi mwili wa marehemu unaendelea kuthaminiwa akimaliza kuaga dunia, na hata sehemu anapozikwa kaburi lake ni mara chache sana, ukiacha maeneo ya mijini ambayo kuna msongamano wa maziko. Lakini hata sehemu anayozikwa linakuwa ni eneo lake la milele, kiasi kwamba mtu hawezi kusimama pale, hawezi kulikalia kaburi. Ninaona hapa pekee ndio ninaona mjini. Kuna heshima ya pekee ambayo tunaendelea kumpa yule mwanadamu aliyekuwa hai. Kwa maana ya kwamba alivyo yeye ndivyo tutakavyokuwa sisi siku za baadaye.
Na mheshimiwa, kuna hili lingine, swala zima la baba mkwe kuweza kushiriki tendo la ndoa na mke wa mwanae. Hili likoje haswa katika mila na desturi za Mwafrika, lakini ni nchi gani haswa pia zinaendeleza utamaduni huo mpaka hii leo?
Swala hili hata mimi nalisoma kwenye vitabu kwa kweli, kwa sababu sijajua ni nani hasa ambaye au kabila lipi. Tatizo hapa kuna generalization, wanasema Afrika. Sasa ukisema Afrika, tungependa watu wanaofanya utafiti watujuze kwamba ni kabila gani linafanyaje. Maana mimi kwa mfano kabila ninalotokea ni marufuku hata binti kukutana na baba mkwe njiani hivi.
Kweli.
Wakiwa akiwa anatembea njiani akajua hiyo njia atafuta baba mkwe, anatafuta njia nyingine, hapo ni njiani. Sasa mpaka baba mkwe kuingia chumbani kwake ni jambo lisilowezekana. Na kama kwa mfano sisi Wahaya ukitaka kuvuna kashfa ya mwaka, baba mkwe abainike kwamba alikuwa na uhusiano na mkwe wake, basi atapewa mto wake, atapewa sehemu ya msitu wake wa kuchanja kuni. Sasa hili linaelezwa, lakini sijui mimi ni makabila gani, ila mimi kwa uzoefu wa kabila la Wahaya kwa mfano ila haliwezi kutokea.
Sasa mheshimiwa, ngoja tuende tukapate break fupi, alafu tutarejea. Usitoke hapo kwenye line ya simu. Hello, unanipata? Unanipata hapo? Hello?
Naona kama network imepotea, sikusikii tena.
Tupate mapumziko mafupi alafu tutarejea. Usikate simu yako. Na msikilizaji, tukiwa tunazidi
Chosani nkawa zanu ndi nyimbo zobeba za mu Africa pamalonje ndi ine Stella Longwe. Bwera ndizavine mwashi Africa loweluka kuyambira nthawi ya 7 koloko mpaka 8 koloko madzulo ndipo yobwereza 4 koloko mpaka 5 koloko mamawa. DJ Danix
kumapusha mangini
kupusha Bwerani mudzavine nyimbo zabwino za mu Africa ndi ine Stella Longwe pamalonje. Channel Africa, kalilole wa Africa.
Channel Africa, unapologetically African. The African perspective.
Tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele msikilizaji, kipindi hewani ni tukiwa bado kwenye maadhimisho ya siku ya Afrika, tukiwa moja kwa moja live kutoka Prison Break Market hapa Johannesburg nchini Afrika Kusini msikilizaji. Na tukiwa hapa tunaendelea zaidi na tumetoka kuzungumza na mhariri huyu, mwenyekiti wa jukwaa la wahariri kutoka nchini Tanzania, Deodatus Balile kutoka nchini Tanzania, ambaye tumeweza kuzungumza naye na ameweza kutufafanulia mambo kadha wa kadha, ikiwemo mambo kadha wa kadha kuhusiana na mila na desturi za Waafrika kwa ujumla na makabila yetu, yepi mambo gani ambayo paka leo bado tunayaenzi kutoka kwa mababu zetu, tukiwa tunaendelea kuyafuatilia. Kama amemaliza hapo dakika chache tu zilizopita, amesema kuna baadhi ya makabila hata tu kupita njia moja na mkweo pia hairuhusiwi. Yani ni makosa kabisa. Ukijua leo kwamba mume wangu au mume wa baba yangu atapita njia fulani, mimi siruhusiwi kwenda. Hilo ni jipya kwangu pia, mimi nimepata kulisikia siku hii ya leo msikilizaji. Tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele na atakaporejea tena tutaweza kuzungumza naye kuweza kufahamu kwamba alikuwa na yapi zaidi. Lakini pia kuna hili swala la ndoa za kupangwa. Naweza nikasema ndoa za kupangwa ni kama kwa kawaida ndoa hizi zinapangwa au kuchaguliwa mwenza baina ya wazee wenye utajiri na baba au wasichana aliyetaka kumuoa. Utamaduni huu bado unaendelea kutekelezwa na katika maeneo mengi ya vijijini katika karne hii ya 21. Hai hivi karibuni ndoa katika jamii ya Wasomali iliangaliwa kama kitu kinachounganisha sio mwanamke na mwanaume pekee, bali ni kuunganisha familia, koo, lakini pia majina. Naweza nikasema hivyo, hilo wanaliangalia sana. Lakini tukija katika swala zima la mahari zao ni kubwa ikilinganishwa na mila na tamaduni za Waafrika wengine. Lakini mila katika upande wa Somali, mahari zao kwenda unapotaka kuoa zinakuwa ni kubwa sana. Na hivi karibuni kabisa ndoa nyingi za Kisomali zimekuwa zinapangwa, na kwa kawaida zinakuwa zinapangwa baina ya wazee wenye utajiri na baba wa wasichana aliyetaka kumuoa. Utamaduni huo bado unaendelea mpaka hivi sasa tunavyoweza kuzungumza msikilizaji. Kwa kawaida wanawake hulipa mahali, mwanaume hulipa mahali kwa familia ya bibi harusi au mke mtarajiwa, wanyama hasa ngamia na pesa, ikiwemo na vito vya dhahabu, vito vya almasi ikiwemo diamond pia vinahusishwa katika utoaji wa mahari kwa mila ya Kisomali. Lakini pia kwa imani pia ya kwao wao, pia wanahitaji sana utoe pesa, si pesa peke yake, lakini pia utoe kama hivyo ng'ombe, utoe ngamia, lakini kubwa zaidi vito vya thamani vya dhahabu, vya almasi vimekuwa vikiangaliwa sana haswa katika hizo familia za kitajiri. Na pia kuna hii nyingine, shangazi kufanya ngono na mme wa mpwa wake. Utamaduni wa shangazi na bibi harusi kufanya tendo la ndoa na mume mpwa wake huenda likawa jambo la ajabu katika jamii nyingi, lakini si jambo geni kwa jamii ya Banyankole. Hii jamii ya Banyankole ni wenyeji wa wilaya ya Mbarara, Bushenyi, Mtongo, Kiruhira, Ibanda, Isigiro na Ntungumo magharibi mwa nchini Uganda. Msikilizaji, huko ni Afrika Mashariki hiyo tunazungumza hivyo. Na ndoa katika jamii hii, haswa jamii nyingi za Kiafrika, ni jambo muhimu sana kwa wazazi kufurahishwa na ndoa za watoto wao ambao huwapata au kupata majukumu ya kuendeleza kizazi au jina la ukoo, kifamilia na vitu kadha wa kadha. Heshima ya familia ya bibi harusi au ya muolewaji ni jambo muhimu sana, na hii inatokana na binti kuolewa akiwa bado yuko bikra, akiwa bado ana usichana wake. Hiyo ni fahari kwa wao kuweza kuona, na hata sio hivyo tu kwamba fikra za Muafrika ni kwamba wanahitaji kuoa binti akiwa mdogo, kwa maana akiwa hajatumika. Na kuna baadhi ya mila, mwanamke akishakuwa hana tena usichana wake ni ngumu sana kuweza kupata ndoa nyingine. Lakini japo sasa hivi watu wanakwenda na wakati na kujaribu kuvunja zile tamaduni na kuiga pengine umagharibi zaidi, haswa nchi za Ulaya na vitu kama hivyo. Msikilizaji, tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele, kumbuka tu tukiwa katika maadhimisho haya ya siku ya African Day, msikilizaji, na tukirusha matangazo moja kwa moja kutoka huku Prison Break Market Johannesburg nchini Afrika Kusini. Lakini kuna hili swala zima la chakula. Waafrika hawawezi kuacha vyakula vyao vya kitamaduni kwa sababu ni sehemu ya utambulisho wao. Ndio maana Waafrika hata wakiwa nje ya bara la Afrika huandaa sana vyakula vyao vya kitamaduni, kwa sababu wanalinda utamaduni wao, wanaheshimu na vitu kadha wa kadha, na hiyo inawatambulisha wao na kujisikia vizuri. Lakini pia si hilo tu, ni fahari ya Muafrika pia kuweza kuendeleza utamaduni wake hata pale anapokuwa nchi za Ulaya, anapokuwa nje ya haswa eneo ambalo ametoka. Lakini mtindo wa maisha ni namna ya kila jamii inavyoishi, hali ambayo itakuwa ngumu sana kuidadisha na maana ya maisha na suala la kibinafsi au suala binafsi, na huenda sana na sanjari na utamaduni na kila watu kutoka bara la Afrika. Msikilizaji, tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele, mimi naitwa I am Henry Shikif. Karibu sana kama ndio kwanza unajiunga nami, ili uweze kushiriki nami katika siku hii ambayo sisi wa Afrika tumekuwa tukijivunia. Sisi wa Afrika leo ni siku yetu, ni tamaduni zetu, tunatakiwa tulinde, tuheshimu na tuweze kuzikuza jamii zetu na vizazi vyetu, tuweze kuvielimisha swala zima la kuwa Muafrika. Kuwa Muafrika ni fahari yetu, na Afrika ni changamoto. Na hata hawa watu wa baadhi ya mabara ya Ulaya wamekuwa wakiiga mambo mbali kutoka barani Afrika. Msikilizaji, tukiwa tunazidi kusonga mbele, na kumbuka tu kama una lolote pia unaweza ukashiriki nasi kupitia nambari zetu za simu za studio, ukaweza kutuambia siku kama hii leo, kipindi hiki ambacho tunaadhimisha siku ya Afrika duniani, unayapi ya kuweza kuzungumza, unayapi ya kujivunia wewe kama Muafrika, umejifunza nini? Una somo lolote ambalo pengine ungependa pengine tuweze kulizungumza kuhusiana na siku hii ya Muafrika. Sisi ni Waafrika, tunaendelea kukuza Uafrika wetu kila siku popote tulipo, kutokana na mavazi yetu, namna tunavyozungumza, namna tunavyowasiliana kama Waafrika, kwa sababu Uafrika ni tunu yetu, ni zawadi kwa sisi wa Afrika. Tuendelee zaidi na zaidi, na muda mfupi kutoka hivi sasa utakwenda kusikiliza taarifa ya habari na Nonsile Zuma kutoka Channel Africa idhaa ya Kiswahili. Msikilizaji, mimi nishukuru sana. Jina langu naitwa I am Henry Shikif, lakini sikuwa peke yangu, nilikuwa na mwandaji wa makala hii ya siku ya Muafrika ambaye ni Abedi Jean de la Croix. Asante sana msikilizaji, na endelea kutufuatilia Channel Africa na kufahamu mambo mengi kuhusiana na kipindi hiki.
Have you been struggling to find Channel Africa?
Oh yes, where can I find you guys?
Well, you are in luck.
Warning, radioactive zone detected.
Listen to the African perspective on our brand new SABC Plus app. Download the fresh and easy to use app from sabcplus.com or the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Or just command your phone to find SABC Plus on your phone and check out all this good stuff. And that's where you will find Channel Africa, the African perspective. Oh yes, this is fresh and easy.
We are on OpenView Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. Self-preservation, self-elevation. These days they deserve celebration. No hesitation, no reservation. Go for the big leagues, no relegation. Let's celebrate life, kick back and take 5, and give thanks to the source that create life. To see a sunset or see a sunrise, and see my son born with these same eyes. To see my son smile bright in every grey sky. He's growing so fast, that's why every day I give it 100, now stop at 90. Praise the Almighty, the Father and 90.
I'm feeling blessed, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down bedu. Wow, 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 wow. Say tonight man no go stress, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down bedu. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, truly. Make I tell you, say my life is like a movie. And if I tell you all these things I don't see truly. Say my eyes don't see before my life come be. Say many try to fool me, but I dey pray for my enemies and truly. And I dey pray for my kids, that's my blessing. Pray for the friends I lost, I pray you never see no loss. Yeah, cause one pressure, feet turn to pressure. I don't see where pressure make man record. Yeah, so make you live your life with judge and no regret them. When man pressure, now God did, man no get control. My brother make you know, life where I dey live, say I dey live, I'm on the low. Hustle every day, I'm willing just to take control. Never about the money, man, I'm staying in my zone. Yeah, say tonight, I'm feeling blessed, oh. Say tonight, me and my guys, we go down, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Say tonight, man, no go stress, oh. Say tonight, me and my guys, we go down, baby. Oh, oh, oh. See, I don't wanna talk about the things that go really, really make me down tonight. Say I don't wanna talk about the things that go make me frown tonight. Say I just wanna hold on to my corner with my lady, make she cool me down. Say I just wanna hold on to my corner with my lady, make she cool me down.
I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed.
Say tonight I'm feeling blessed, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down, baby. Wow, 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 wow. Say tonight man no go stress, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down, baby. Ọmọ gbogbo jẹ́ ká gbé bọ́dì, tó bá ti dárọ́ jẹ́ ká ṣe bọ́dì. Ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo máa ṣe nọ́mà, tó bá ti ṣe nọ́mà máa gbé nọ́mà.
Channel Africa, #1 with information worldwide.
That is.
Double play.
You know. Tune into the king of songs and blues.
Initiating rage process.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me. 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 I'm sorry for who won't be my matter. Sorry, I'm only human. So make nobody para. Say I carry woman. She na man way I for carry. Fuck all
Channel 628. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
And you are still tuned in to Out and About with myself, Nombuso Mahlangu. And like I said earlier on, I'm standing in for my dear, beautiful co-worker or colleague, Puleng Mulibati, who's out in Arusha, Tanzania, having the time of her life. But guess what? Today, we are also having the time of our life because finally, Out and About is Out and About. And as you heard, you were listening to JJ, who was speaking in the beautiful language. I feel like it's just a sexy language to listen to, although you're not hearing what people are saying exactly. But that was JJ earlier on in the first hour speaking French. And now we just had Ayam speaking in Swahili, and she was telling us about all things food, music, our distinct food cuisines, which when you travel globally, you still get to see that this is actually African food. And when you see someone dressed in an African attire, when you are wherever you are, basically you can see that this is someone from somewhere in Africa. And that was so much beautiful to actually listen to all these conversations and be empowered. And I hope you also learned a thing or two, and I also hope you just grasped a word or two if you are of the English speaking language. And we're still gonna have more. We're still gonna have Portuguese, and also we're gonna have Chinyanza. So that's so beautiful. I can't wait for everyone to just grasp, and you can get in touch with us. But before that, let's just head over to the news with Nosihle Zuma.
SABC News. The African perspective.
Your headlines this hour: Rwandan genocide fugitive appears before South African court, and Mozambique's former finance minister faces extradition to the US over corruption scandal. Thank you, Nombuso. Good morning. Rwandan fugitive Fulgence Kayishema, who was wanted for his alleged role in the killing of about 2,000 people during the 1994 genocide in that country, has appeared in South Africa's Cape Town Magistrate Court after his arrest in Paarl in the Western Cape province earlier this week. Now, Kayishema yesterday denied any involvement, though he said he was sorry for the 1994 killings. The matter was postponed to the 2nd of June. The 61-year-old has been wanted since 2002 when he was indicted by the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda over his alleged role in the Nyange Church massacre. Fulgence faces 5 charges, including fraud and contravening the Immigration Act 13 of 2002 and the Refugee Act of 130 of 1998. South Africa's National Health Department says it is, in what it terms, a race against time to find the source of the cholera outbreak. The number of laboratory-confirmed cholera cases that the Jubilee District Hospital in Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria, dealt with by yesterday evening stood at 44. Now, that's according to the latest update from the Gauteng Health Department. It says currently 74 patients have been admitted to the hospital due to gastrointestinal infection. 21 people have died from cholera in Hammanskraal and 1 in the Free State Province. The National Health Department spokesperson is Foster Mohale.
What we don't know is where the contamination is taking place. A number of teams that are working around the clock in order to try to find out where could the contamination took place. They are running the tests from time to time in order to try to find the source of water contamination in Hammanskraal. Hence, we are trying to test the water from different points at different times in order to find what could be the possible cause of contamination.
Now, nearly 5 years after he was arrested at a South African airport, Mozambique's former finance minister has lost a last-ditch court appeal and faces extradition to the United States over a $2 billion corruption scandal related to loans to Mozambican state-owned companies. U.S. prosecutors allege that Manuel Cheng, Mozambique's finance minister from 2005 to 2015, was involved in a scam that ultimately defrauded American and international investors. It's alleged that huge sums of money lent by international banks to Mozambique and guaranteed by the Mozambique government were meant for a series of maritime projects that disappeared in bribes, kickbacks, and other illegal payments. Cheng is accused of receiving about $17 million in bribes in the hidden desk scandal. Now, the government of Cameroon says more than 30 women abducted by separatist rebels for protesting illegal taxes imposed on them have been released. The women were taken earlier this month from Babangi, a farming village in the northwest region of the Central African country along the border with Nigeria. According to a local government official, the separatists were collecting monthly payments from children, women, and men, imposing taxes on couples before they got married and forcing families to pay $1,000 to bury their relatives. And the governing body of British cycling will ban transgender women from female competitive events at the elite level. It says that the aim is to make fairness in the sport a priority. The body has quoted research that shows that people who go through a male puberty maintain a competitive advantage over women, a situation that testosterone suppression can't mitigate. John Dutton is the British cycling chief executive.
We recognise that, first of all, this is a difficult, emotive subject and there isn't a plethora of medical research information that is available. We have looked at what we have available, but we're also really clear that we will continue to review this policy, and should things change in the future, there will be a review process put in place.
A recap of your top story: Rwandan fugitive Fulgence Kayishema, who was wanted for his alleged role in the killing of about 2,000 people during the 1994 genocide in that country, has appeared in South Africa's Cape Town Magistrate Court after his arrest in Paarl in the Western Cape province earlier this week. And for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Nosihle Zoma.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
And welcome to the second hour of Out and About. It is 10 o'clock. Actually, it is 10:05. Thank you so much, Nosihle Zuma, for the news update there. And just before that, the last hour, we had a beautiful double play by Wizkid, Blessed. And I do feel blessed today by being out and about at the Prison Break Market. And we also had Davido featuring our very own Musa Keys with Unavailable. And you know, one thing that I've noticed, or rather, it's actually my first outside broadcast. I have to say, that's why I think I'm all giddy and excited about everything that's happening around me and all the people, the lights. I mean, when you're in studio at our Auckland Park studios, there are no lights. There, you know, all these things that are happening that are shining on you, we don't necessarily see them and experience them. So today I actually feel like a true radio personality, so to speak. And with that said, I really do want to acknowledge everyone that is here with me, making my job seamless and easy, and see everything that I'm not used to seeing and understanding it. I want to acknowledge, obviously, my producer, Anneliso Velemu, who put all of this together, all the people, I mean, from the language service desks to literally all the interviews that we're going to have on the show today. And also my technical producers. I've got one in studio, so I'm very lucky today to have two. It is Didimalo Makau, and my field producer, who is Umdebele Wiketu. It is Zeki. Is that a J? Jakes ne enkosi yami, yeah, language and writing it. So that's Project Kitlapi. And yeah, thank you so much for everyone, the whole team. I'm not gonna mention everyone. They know themselves. I mean, I've got someone on camera there pointing. He says he wants to be a newsreader. It's so beautiful to be interacting with the team and not just being alone in studio and talking to just you as our listeners. But obviously you can still catch us on our platforms. Let's start with Twitter because I know it's very controversial. And today you're going to have a lot of good things rather to say about us. We are at Channel Africa 1 and on our DSTV audio bouquet, we are on channel 802 and on our OpenView channel rather, we are on channel 628. And don't forget to WhatsApp us and tell us where you're at. Maybe you are around where we are and you want to just come say hi to us. We are on +2763 406 9126 and you are still tuned in to Out and About, and today we are living up to our name. We are Out and About, and in a short bit we're going to be talking everything lingualism, and I was just practicing to say this word correctly because it's quite a long word that we don't necessarily say on a day-to-day basis, so it's lingualism. It's basically talking about our diverse cultures, not cultures, but our diverse indigenous languages and what they can do for us. And I was just telling JJ earlier on that these languages actually have a lot that they can impact or help us on, and I think it's really not really expressed as to how languages can help us. One thing is that it economically can impact us to be able to trade with other countries, not just African countries, but also globally. If you are multilingual, so to speak, you can trade anywhere in the world. And but we really do want to emphasize our indigenous languages, that in as much as isiNdebele or all the Nguni languages, try and learn a bit of Swahili. Try and learn a bit of Portuguese, even if you're not traveling the countries. I mean, now there's Google Translate where you can freely learn, so that maybe you're also calling it into being, maybe you're manifesting traveling these countries as you're learning them. I know for myself, I actually was very fascinated in the Portuguese language because I had a lot of Portuguese friends here in South Africa, and that was before I traveled to Mozambique, and I started learning the language, the greetings, and how to pronounce people's names and the pronunciations. And with me learning, it was me manifesting actually going and visiting Mozambique, and I ended up visiting, I think, about 3 to 4 islands in Mozambique on solo trips, and solo trips are very vital. Normally we do have a segment where we talk about traveling and everything. I would highly encourage solo trips whenever, whether be it winter, whether be it summer. They're so beautiful because there's a lot to explore and you actually get to learn a lot, and you're forced to learn the languages and the cultures because you're not with people that you know and are used to. But yeah, like I was saying, that we are going to be shortly talking to a philosopher. A lot of people call him Bishop Joshua Maponga, but he's actually a very great philosopher, and he tells all things culture, tradition, and being African. And with me, my take actually on Africa Day, as we are in celebration and continuing to commemorate Africa Day, is that we are actually in essence celebrating ourselves as African. We are celebrating who we are. We are celebrating our skin tone, our beautiful glow. We are celebrating our minerals as well, and everything that we have. And I think it's quite empowering to actually have such open dialogues and conversations about Africa Day and being African, multilingualism, and everything. I mean, even our dress codes, it's so beautiful to see it happening. But for now, let's go on a quick ad break. We'll come back to you shortly.
Se é artista em exceção que procura mostrar a sua música a público mais vasto, ou apenas procura promover a sua música na rádio, podemos ajudá-lo a aumentar as suas hipóteses de sucesso. Envie sua música para music@channelafrica.co.za. Para tal, precisamos das seguintes informações: rótulo, código ISRC, título, artista, compositor, editor, autor, linguagem, gênero. 3. Escute sua música, trilha sonora da nossa rádio, perfeita para melhorar o seu dia. Com Channel África e a sua música, você nunca ficará entediado. Experimente o melhor da música africana na perspectiva africana.
Hello, Africa. My name is Jabu Gorene. I'm a brand new voice on Channel Africa. I've been on radio over 20 years. I've worked for Capricorn FM, retail radios, which include Dance, Vodacom, as well as Comitanet. I'll be on the Midnight Snack, 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. every Monday morning.
Don't let this love hold you down.
One thing I like about radio is about the connection. I think you tend to be yourself and be able to connect. It's able to connect with people that you've never met and also bring that self-satisfaction at the end of the day. To say, this is who I am and this is where we are. You'll get to find out more about me. We'll get to discuss about the journey, about relationships, and also to try and get you ready for the week ahead, because there's a whole lot of things that we can exactly get ready, especially on a week ahead, previous week. So we'll try and look in terms of what's coming up in a week ahead. Looking forward to be with you. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Cool conversations this summer. The African Perspective.
And yes, you are still with us here on Out and About, the African Perspective, and you can still interact with us, as I was emphasizing, that we want to talk to people, want to hear what people have to say about Africa Day, as we're out here still celebrating with you guys. And as I was talking to my other colleague earlier on, Ntsako Mhlanga, about how people are actually flocking into different markets because it's payday. So, I mean, if you are here at Prison Break Market here in Lone Hill, Kyalami, you can come have a chat with me. I'm very friendly. I don't bite. You can come have a chat with one of our language desk's personalities who can teach you a thing or two about their languages. We've got a French-speaking personality. We've got a Swahili-speaking personality. We've got a Portuguese-speaking personality. And a very interesting one for me, a Chinyanza, which I can't wait to actually interact with my colleague about, in Chinyanza rather. Chinyanza, yes. Oh, you see, we're learning every day. I mean, it's beautiful to know. So come through. We're out here at Prison Break Market in Lone Hill, Kyalami. We are talking everything, all things Africa Day. We are celebrating it. We're going to be having different cuisines as well from here at the Prison Break Market. We're going to be talking to different vendors that are here, stationed here every weekend to see or to taste even what they serve and what they have to offer if you are around the area or you want to come through. And I see it's quite a lot of interesting places. I saw there's a breakfast area or breakfast serving place, and it's just packed with people just having breakfast. And I saw they're busy with pottery and a lot of things that just interesting. And there's quite a lot of young kids as well to have fun. It's not just for adults. You know, I see kids having fun. There's a play area for kids as well. The sun is out. There's a bit of a breeze, but it's not too harsh on the skin. And like I was promising you earlier on, that I'm going to have a chat about languages and the importance of African languages as Africans, you know. And I was excited actually when my producer, Annelisa, told me that we're going to be talking to philosopher Joshua Mapanga, and I was like, I see this man a whole lot on social media, and I believe it's for all the right reasons, you know. And right now on the line we do have philosopher Joshua Mapanga. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning and greetings to all your listeners out there.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know for one, I'm very excited to have this conversation with you as we are still in celebration of Africa Day. Let's start off by, you know, how you feel as an individual to being African and being able to express yourself as an African.
I feel like a caged bird. I feel like we have wings, but the wings have been clipped off.
Yeah.
It looks like we are dogs that are on a leash. Mm-hmm. So in as much as we are told we are African, but we cannot be fully African in terms of experiencing ourselves. These include critical issues such as languages on our media platforms and education. This includes entertainment and sports that are indigenous. This includes our indigenous traditional clothes being recognized as formal, our weddings and our food becoming our mainstream, our religion and spirituality becoming our daily function. So it looks like this Africa concept and Africa Day is just a cosmetic, plastic flowers that are being put on us. They have no life on them. They don't attract bees at all because there's no substance in giving us a programmed way of... The white people are free to become whites every day, even celebrate Guy Fawkes, Halloween nights, Valentine's, rabbits and sex and eggs, and they are free to do that. But it looks like Africans, we have not even yet started to break away the molds of colonial institutionalization.
Yeah. And I mean, with that said, I know we're going to be talking about languages and everything, but I always like to catch on to what you say, because I absolutely grasp everything, or rather new things from you, Mr. Maponga. Would you say we're now living in a pseudo-reality or pseudo-truth as Africans?
I would rather use the word pacified reality, where we are coming out of great pain, and the small little sweets that we are eating, we think that it is food. We have some little, brainwashing in schools, a little bit of, some pacifying in churches. You buy a little bit of materials, a car and a house, and you have some feeling like we're also human beings. But this is not life in its abundance. We don't own the means of the production of those very things that we desire to have. So it's like we have a car, but it's on credit. You have a house, but it's on credit. You have clothes. You have not yet fully paid for them. Even in some cases, even your wife, you have not even paid lobola yet. So you are happy, but why is there so much depression and suicide? If these things were working, why are prisons full?
Yeah.
Why is there crime on the streets in the midst of independence and freedom? Then you begin to see that what is being spoken on the forefront is not the reality in the backdrop.
Sure. Okay, now let's delve into the multilingualism. How do you think it contributes?
Did I shock you? Did I shock you?
You always do.
Did I shock you?
It's nothing new. Trust me. It's nothing new. So now with multilingualism, Mr. Maponga, how do you think it contributes to a more inclusive and diverse society?
Firstly, I'll shock you again. What you have not appreciated for the longest of time is that language is spiritual. Language is a library of science, of technology, of medicines, of astrology, of anthropology, because all the body parts are mentioned with names. All the trees are mentioned with names. And if you look at the trees, they actually have a medicinal element that is attached to the name. So to understand a language, you're actually able to unleash and unlock the knowledge of the past to live it in the present. So when you say Ukansi, for example, which is a mat, Yin Ukansi is from the river, from the reeds. Ukansi, then it means what? You are going to the river to sleep on the mat. Ukansi is to sleep with someone. Ukansi is to get into someone's waters. There's depth in our words. In fact, words are used for casting spells. So had we known that English is actually casting a spell on us, someone was even asking me yesterday, so you no longer believe in the gospel? I said, are you saying it's a gospel, it's a God spell, or it's a religious gospel where once you believe in Christ, you're actually under a spell? And it's there, right there in language. When you say good morning, are you saying I'm going to be crying for the whole morning? The phonetics of morning and morning are the same. But when you come to your Zulu language and the Shona language, Mangwa, Anani, who has the words from the ancestors? Who spoke to the spirits in the night? Sarimbonani, I see you. Can you see me also? Dumelara, I see the sun shining on your face. Can it rain? So you miss and you forfeit all those blessings that are in African cultural language by using good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and you don't know what is good about an afternoon of colonization.
Ooh. Yeah, you just did again. You hit me with another shocking bomb. Yeah, I mean, the shocks are not too bad because I love them. They evoke something in us, you know. And how do we now raise awareness? I mean, we don't have a lot of Joshua Mapongas, you know, but I'd really love to see a lot of Joshua Mapongas emerging. How do we now raise awareness with our African languages and cultures?
Means of production, means of reproduction, means of education, sharing of information, open-mindedness of the young people, learning to learn, going through school and allowing school to go through you, using our languages as mediums of communication, entertainment that is biased towards our own knowledge systems, appreciation of indigenous knowledge systems, transformation of political terrains and economic and business platforms, curriculums that are written in our spaces, taking children to their grandfathers and grandmothers, learning to name trees and etc. in our indigenous languages, and convert that knowledge into books of agriculture and of science, teaching mathematics in traditional language systems, creating inventions, innovations, and constantly interacting with nature because observation is the mother of learning.
Now, with all these things, the fears of speaking our own, you know, indigenous languages, would you say that we are unable or we're scared to speak them because we were told or taught that we wouldn't be able to even trade globally?
The fear of the black man is the white man who lives in his head. The white man is gone, but he remains in our thinking. Those things you are afraid of, what if, you are afraid of what is no longer there. So colonization colonizes the people, and once they are colonized, the colonizer can go and the people can colonize each other.
Yeah. I mean, you just spoke about books now, Mr. Maponga. I'm not sure if it was you that I heard saying that you're going to write your own Bible, you know? Maybe indulge me on that a bit.
We've already written we already have 227 chapters of that Bible. It's a beautiful book which will be used in all universities and in all churches and by all scholars. Because for the first time in the history, I am downloading oral tradition from the spiritual space and cultural spaces, paralleling it up with the Bible and creating a bridge of knowledge between biblical, scientific, political, and cultural knowledge systems. And it's a must read. It's a must read, and I'm going to make it available to everybody. You must, but there's only one rule to the book.
Okay.
I give you the book. You must translate it first in your own local language, and then give it to your child to translate also. The day we have 4 translations of that book in one family, the concept of colonial knowledge system will have flown through the windows.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maponga. I don't know if there's anything you want to leave us with, another nice shocker, you know, as we're wrapping up. But thank you so much. I mean, the platform is yours.
The conclusion is that the God of the colonizer and the God of the slave can never be the same. The colonizer teaches his children to have dominion, have power over the birds, the fish, and the land. They train their children that you are not tails, but you are heads. They train their children that you are masters and you are not slaves. They train their children that the whole world belongs to them. But when they come to Africa, then their religion changes and their God changes. They tell the African, obey your masters. Give away the land, your land is in heaven. You are good for nothing but a sinner. You need to confess and bow down to a white man so that God can forgive your sins. So I have always said, I'll say it again, the God of the masters and the God of the slaves is not the same. Until Africa finds her God and finds her spirituality, the vortex of her spiritual direction will constantly be controlled in the hands of the compasses of the West. So it is important that we go back to find ourselves. And to find ourselves is to know that the library of the white man is in books, but the library of the black man is in the spirit. We access the spirit to know our background. Our forefathers are lying in the graves, but they're sleeping in our bones and in our DNA. He who has found himself has found his past, because you will be the ancestor to your children. I thank you.
Thank you so much. But before I let you go, I'd really love to extend my invite to our Channel Africa studios at the SABC Radio Park. I'll ask my producer to send you an invite if you can just grace us with your presence, because honestly, this knowledge you really do need.
Fantastic. You have to tell them, get me a ticket from Harare. I'll be there.
Not a problem. Money is not our problem. Thank you so much. And that was Philosopher.
I like this. You are the first lady I've spoken to who agrees that money is not a problem.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maponga. That
wonderful morning.
And that is philosopher Joshua Maponga, popularly known as Bishop Maponga. And honestly, I really don't care what people have to say about him. There's always something that we get. You know, and I think we all got something, whether it's just one thing or two things. There's just something that we get from such a hive of knowledge, such as philosopher Joshua Maponga. And right now, I'm just going to let you go to a quick ad break, and we'll come back to you shortly.
Channel Africa, #1 with information worldwide.
Hey, mama, oh, my good friend. They say, show me your friend, tell you how. Oh, my friend, I know 59. The good times we shared, never ever ever forend. I will never forget. Good times always go. Lately I have been so cold, and I wanna be with you, my friend. Good times always go. Lately I have been so cold, and I wanna be with you, my friend. They say blood is thicker than water. Some friends are loyal than brothers. True. The two are around too when life sometimes gets hard. I know you'll never talk behind my back. I pray that I live long with you. My friend, forgive every wrong I do. I may not have money, but with you I am rich, my friend. Some family, they will judge and condemn you, but you never leave me, no, you'll never ever leave me. I may have knowledge, but with you I am wise, my friend. Good times always go. Lately I've been so cold, and I wanna be with you, my friend. Good times always go. Lately I've been so cold, and I wanna be with you, my friend.
Channel Africa, playing nothing but African music all day.
And you are still with us here on Out and About. And like, I'm still going to emphasize that we are at the Prison Break Market in Lone Hill, Kyalami. And that was such an insightful conversation we had about multilingualism with a philosopher Joshua Maponga, who did promise that he's actually going to come and visit us in our studios in Auckland Park to give us more insight and knowledge on Africa and being African. But right now, I've got Mariamo here. My Portuguese sister. Tudo bem, Mariam?
Muito bem, obrigada. Olha como tu sabes falar bem português.
I fala Portuguese.
See?
That's correct, right?
Yeah.
So fala means I can speak Portuguese,
Yes,
but
you can
I fala
speak
very
Portuguese.
small Portuguese.
Yeah.
And what do you have for us on the show today?
Okay, today so I'll be talking about a little bit of like Portuguese like influences. Yeah, we were colonized by the Portuguese, by Portugal, so we have a lot of the influences in culture. And also I'm going to speak about like the cloth. There's this cloth called capulana. I don't know.
Capulanas, I know capulanas,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'll be talking about capulanas, how they wear in Mozambique, né? And the different. How is it it's important, né? For
Yeah.
as a, like I'm going to speak for myself
Mhm.
as Mozambican woman. So every woman, each house, they have to have a capulana.
Capulana, yeah.
The mothers, né? So we building that what you call, it's like that comes from generation to generation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
our mothers has that what you call that
Is it a kist?
It's
Like
I think
a-
so, like a wooden
Yes, it's a
kind
kist.
of thing.
It's a kist, yeah.
So everywhere we go, it's either weddings, funerals or not, né? Funerals. Every commemoration we have, we have to have the capulana.
Oh.
And all of us has the same capulana. So it's like a tradition, like Mozambique. And today we use capulana as we use for like to make outfits. You know,
yeah.
there's so many, even shoes. They do
with
they
capulanas?
with capulanas,
Oh,
shoes,
wow.
bags, and everything. So it changed from generation to generation, from like wearing like to tie on your
Yeah, 'cause,
thing.
that's how I
It's-
know. You just tie it on your waist
You tie
and-
on your
yeah.
waist and you put it in your head.
Yes.
And the new generation changed that. So if you see like the new designers in Mozambique, they use capulana
to make basically Western
clothes,
outfits. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. That's
so I'll be
interesting.
touching that, and also some food, different kinds of food in different Portuguese-speaking countries, and then I'll be interviewing. She's from Portugal, but she has Guinea-Bissau origins. So she made a song with a mixture of fado, which is the Portuguese kind of song, typical music.
Okay.
With
So is it
African.
more like pasada, or is it more vibier than pasada?
It's more like how do I say, opera kind of thing.
Oh,
And,
okay.
It's not opera, but it sounds like it.
Yeah.
If like the simple way of like explaining. And then she brings African beat.
Oh.
So it's like very, very nice, and you'll listen to it a little bit. Yeah, so she's going to speak about her origins and the influences of the song and everything. So yeah.
But what's the one thing that you can say, Marimo, is a Mozambican staple food, you know,
Yes.
that you guys have to have every day? I know when I was there, with whatever we had, the olive oil is very important with all the food that you
we
have.
use a lot of olive oil because of the Portuguese origin. We use it like in fish and
Yeah.
the curries we do and the salads, but mostly we use more of peanut-based curries. You know, we
What's
make.
your favorite curry?
Oh, there's so many. This chicken with coconut.
Okay.
Bright chicken with coconut. It's called Zambesian chicken.
Zambesian chicken.
Zambesian chicken.
Tell me, this Mozambican chicken that we eat here in South Africa, what is that? Is
No,
that
it's
even
not
a thing?
the same. That's more like a Portuguese, but yeah, we do that. It's like chicken marinated with garlic and chili and lemon.
Ah.
And we fry it.
And that's it.
And that's it.
And
But-
so they're saying that it's some Portuguese spice that,
yeah, you put a spice, but it's not like the main ingredient is that. It's just chili and garlic. Lots of garlic and chili. And lemon. Don't forget the lemon.
Lemon.
The lemon
I
is
know,
a
yeah. I
must-have.
saw we used a lot
Yeah.
of lemon on our chicken, on basically everything. So
Yeah.
it's going to be quite an interesting Portuguese segment that you're going to be having.
Yes.
Okay. So now I'm going to hand over to you,
Okay.
Mariamo, and your guest. I think let's just go on a quick break.
Okay.
And after the break, we're going to be continuing with you and your guest.
Okay, thank you, Nombusi.
Thank you, Mariamo. Let's take a
Okay.
quick break, and after that, we'll continue with Mariamo.
This is Planting the Seed with Matseko Musito on Channel Africa.
Regreening Africa is an ambitious 5-year project. The project seeks to restore 1 million hectares and benefit 500,000 households in 8 sub-Saharan African countries. Mika Born Ochieng is joining me, and she is the Regreening Africa program manager based in Nairobi. First of all, I think Regreening Africa as a project is just ticking all the boxes, regenerative agricultural practices, collaboration, investment.
Yes, so working across this huge diversity of countries, particularly in East and West Africa, the role of Regreening Africa is first and foremost to make sure that we support good knowledge and options on the continent and the practices that used to be very common. Plant more trees and make sure that you have a plan for what's happening with those trees.
Should actually put that on a t-shirt. Plant more trees.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa. Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa. Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Thank you, Nombusu. And then I'm going to carry on with the line today. We here at Prison Break, and we're going to speak about português. Então hoje vamos falar sobre o português, não é mesmo? Que é uma língua que fala-se em 7 países, isto é Angola, Brasil, Cabo Verde, Guiné-Bissau, Guiné Equatorial, Timor-Leste, Moçambique, Portugal e São Tomé e Príncipe. É uma língua que é falada por é a terceira mais língua falada em todo o mundo, e é uma língua que traz muita diversidade por diferentes países em diferentes regiões daqui da África e também do continente europeu, do continente asiático e também do continente americano, sul-americano, isto que é o Brasil, não é mesmo? E hoje vamos falar aqui da capulana, uma vestimenta moçambicana que muitas mulheres usam. A capulana chegou a Moçambique através de trocas comerciais entre países de origem como a Índia, não é mesmo? Vinham para Moçambique e traziam para troca de comércio em Moçambique, e assim foi introduzida. As mulheres usam para amarrar a sua cintura e também põem na cabeça, e também é um tecido que hoje em dia a gente usa para diversificar na nossa moda moçambicana. Usamos como vestidos, calças, casacos, e até há sapatos e também há carteiras. Vamos aqui até a um pequeno intervalo e voltamos já para falar da comida típica moçambicana.
Para escuta o meu ser. Tantas dúvidas.
Muito bem-vindo aqui ao nosso programa. Sabemos que a Alice é uma cantora. Podia falar aqui um pouco sobre a sua trajetória e o que é que a fez ingressar no mundo da música?
Eu costumo dizer, porque eu acredito também muito nisto, não fui eu que escolhi a música é que me escolheu a mim. Desde pequenina sempre quis cantar, cantei desde a escola primária, secundária.
Hi,
Até que
Tido.
com os meus 15 anos gravei o meu primeiro single.
Did I do the right thing? Because I was texting you, you didn't reply.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your thing. No, it was supposed to be a promo, but it's okay. After that, I'll close the interview and then I'll carry on and then I'll ask you to play a promo, né?
Because I didn't know what to do. Nobody communicated.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. E Sombras é o seu primeiro single, não é? Uma canção com a alma africana e a voz no fado. Como é que descreve esta escolha de ritmos?
Esta escolha de ritmos para mim é muito fácil, porque é aquilo que eu sou. É a minha influência de ter nascido aqui em Portugal, mas ser fruto de um seio familiar guineense. Então foi a mistura destes dois mundos. Como eu costumo também dizer, eu vivo o melhor dos dois mundos. Sempre num território português, mas com uma cultura guineense.
Tá bem. E o single, como é que descreve a música? E como é que foi o processo também da composição?
Foi um processo longo, foi desde 2020 da pandemia, por isso é que a música chama-se Sombras. Eu passava um período muito sombrio, como a maior parte de nós todos, na pandemia, não podemos sair, todos infelizes. E foi aí que eu comecei a escrever. E esta música teve muitas versões, desde 2020 até agora. Só no ano passado é que nós conseguimos chegar a este resultado final. Mas, graças a Deus, acho que correu bem. Acho que as pessoas estão a gostar. As pessoas estão a gostar e... não é? E estou muito feliz também por ter, apesar de ter sido um processo longo, duradouro, de muitas versões, de refazer, de fazer... Mas nós, graças a Deus, conseguimos chegar a este resultado.
Ok. São os fãs guineenses ou os portugueses que mais gostam?
Olha, neste momento eu tenho tido a sorte de ambos estarem a gostar. Eu tinha muito medo, antes de fazer esta apresentação daquilo que eu acredito ser, e que sou também. Estava com muito receio que a comunidade guineense não gostasse. Estava com muito receio, devo confessar. Mas, graças a Deus, tenho tido um apoio incrível. Eu deixo já aqui um agradecimento a todos os guineenses que nos estão a ouvir e que têm gostado da música, que têm apoiado. Muito obrigada. Do fundo do meu coração, sinto-me realizada por ter esse amor guineense.
Não é? E quais os maiores desafios que encontra na indústria?
Durante algum tempo, o maior desafio foi encontrar-me a mim mesma. No sentido em que eu, como ingressei na orquestra, cantava muitos géneros, desde o pop, desde o jazz até a música portuguesa, e sempre sentia aquela necessidade de fazer algo que fosse meu, com o qual eu me sentisse bem. Esse foi o primeiro desafio para mim. E depois, a indústria da música não é muito fácil, é um mundo ainda, pelo menos aqui na lusofonia, muito dominado por homens também, temos certa dificuldade, mas graças a Deus eu tenho tido muito apoio, muita sorte e também trabalho para isso, obviamente, mas estou muito contente com o que está a acontecer. Logo os desafios começam por ser a menor preocupação.
A música Sombras, não é? Tem um ritmo, isto africano e o fado, não é? Que sentimentos é que gosta de cantar?
Eu sou muito romântica, Então eu gosto mais de cantar sobre o amor. Não só na vertente de homem para mulher, ou de mulher para homem, mas o amor em todas as suas vertentes. O amor familiar, o amor no geral é o que mais me fascina e é o que eu mais gosto de cantar e é o que eu melhor me sinto a cantar.
Ok. E músicos, quais é que gostaria de colaborar com eles assim?
Olha, eu vou lhe dizer, o meu maior sonho é um dia colaborar com o Rema, com o Burna Boy, são os meus artistas preferidos. Era um sonho, era ouro sobre azul. A cereja no topo do bolo, era uma coisa que eu nem sei o que eu queria fazer depois, que é entrar juro? E entrar num delírio. Ai, Jesus, era o meu maior sonho.
Com certeza vai se realizar. Podes crer.
Ai, Deus,
com a voz que tens, podes crer que vai realizar.
Ai, era um sonho tornado. Acho que nesse dia nem eu consegui cantar, ia só chorar.
E o que é que gostaria de alcançar nessa nova fase da tua carreira?
Bem, eu gostaria de alcançar o coração das pessoas. Para as pessoas, realmente as pessoas que me vão ouvir ou que me queiram ouvir, gostaria que eles sentissem realmente aquilo que eu estou a cantar. Do coração mesmo. Gostaria mesmo que sentissem, que realmente gostassem daquilo que eu estou a transmitir para eles. Para mim, esta era a melhor coisa que eu poderia alcançar e, obviamente, também sempre vamos almejar para o máximo possível. Mas o mais importante para mim é que realmente, quando eu paro e estou no microfone e abro-me e canto para vocês, o que mais me interessa, o que mais seria importante para mim, era perceber que realmente consigo chegar ao coração dessas pessoas.
Não é?
Com mais gostaria.
E qual é o sentimento que a Alice tem quando sobe ao palco? O que é que sente quando começa a cantar?
É como se fosse... para já o canto para mim é uma terapia, é tudo que eu tenho na minha vida é música. Em todos os momentos o que me salvou de tudo e o que me salva todos os dias é a música. Eu sinto gratidão, sinto bênção, é como se fosse... como se estivesse a ser batizada, digamos assim, por Deus. Não sou muito religiosa, atenção, mas só estou a fazer essa comparação para as pessoas perceberem, para mim é divino. Apesar de tudo, é muito divino para mim chegar e sim estar no palco e poder cantar. É um sentimento que eu não consigo explicar. De gratidão, de bênção, é uma coisa que é um super poder, não sei descrever, é muito grande. Seja uma plateia com 100 pessoas ou 2 pessoas, é sempre igual, sinto sempre isto, graças a Deus. Sinto sempre isto.
Já é muito bom, é uma terapia, como disse, não é?
É uma terapia, para mim é o que me salva de todas as fases que possa passar na minha vida, boas ou más. Quando paro para cantar, é como se estivesse num outro mundo. Como se não existissem problemas.
Escuta o meu ser, tantas dúvidas sem saber porquê, mágoas e memórias perdidas nos olhos de quem não as vê. A vida continua, o tempo se enfada da minha alma vazia, ferida que não sara, chora sem razão. Sabe Deus a culpa na minha oração. Pouco alegre, nunca contente, consequência deste presente, dos dias que passam a correr. Pouco alegre, nunca contente, consequência.
A Alice foi quem escreveu a letra da música Sombras, não é?
Sim, senhora. A letra, fui eu que escrevi a letra e fui eu que fiz a melodia também da música. Porque lá está, era um momento que eu estava a passar muito mal, a nível pessoal. Estava muito triste, num período depressivo, e comecei a escrever. Porque eu não escrevia, eu simplesmente cantava. E comecei a escrever aquilo que eu sentia. Até que depois um dia musiquei esta letra.
E quando entrou assim ao estúdio para gravar a música, qual foi a sensação? Assim? Pode descrever?
Quando eu entrei no estúdio, eu estive, como eu tinha dito há pouco, foi uma música, não só música, o género que eu estou a fazer foi um género com muita busca, muita procura, muito refazer, muitas edições, muitas versões. Então quando eu entrei, foi assim, num momento assim de dúvida, que eu estava com medo de que esta ideia não resultasse. E pensei, bem, isto aqui não está a soar bem como eu tinha pensado, até que passado uns meses. É verdade, porque eu já gravei música várias vezes. Depois...
Até chegar onde está.
Até chegar onde está, gravei música várias vezes. Na primeira foi assim um sentimento de dúvida, tipo, não é bem isto, não era bem aqui que eu estava a pensar ou que eu pensava que iria correr bem. Mas depois, passado uns meses mais tarde, que eu gravei, e foi num momento que até veio no mesmo dia comigo a guitarra portuguesa, e foi aí nesse momento que eu percebi que afinal resultava, que era isto que eu queria. Aí foi fantástico. Foi como se fosse dar uma prenda a uma criança assim no Natal, a prenda que ela mais queria. Foi assim que eu me senti. É verdade. Fiquei, oh meu Deus, é isso mesmo.
Não é? É o teu primeiro bebê,
mesmo.
não é?
É o meu primeiro bebê, meu primeiro filho, meu neném, meu codé. É verdade.
E virão muitos por aí, com certeza.
Ai Deus, eu vou trabalhar para isso, vou tentar trabalhar e vos dar mais dos meus filhos.
Não é? E para finalizar, Alice, a conversa está tão boa, mas pronto, temos que ir, não é? Este single é uma antevisão, não é? Do seu EP Afro-Lusitana. Pode falar um pouco como é que está a ser o processo do projeto?
o processo está a ser muito mais fácil do que o primeiro, com este single. Porque já encontrei uma matriz, já sei para onde queremos ir. Está a ser muito frutífero, está a ser maravilhoso. Estou a trabalhar com produtores diferentes. Estou a gostar muito de me descobrir também enquanto artista, porque cada tema também precisa da sua própria sonoridade. Cada tema é como se fossem pessoas diferentes, não é? Cada filho é diferente um do outro, não é? E temos que dar sempre o que cada um precisa. É verdade. E temos que dar sempre o que cada um precisa. E tem sido maravilhoso. Tem sido um EP verdadeiramente afro-lusitano, que é aquilo que eu sou, é a minha identidade e é as minhas influências entre Portugal e Guiné-Bissau, ou África. É verdade, tem sido assim, tem sido maravilhoso o processo. Estou a adorar muito. Estou a adorar muito. É uma nova fase da minha vida em que já não faço parte da orquestra, saí para perseguir este sonho da música e está a ser muito, muito bom o estar livre e estar a realizar este sonho de cantar aquilo que eu realmente sinto e aquilo que sou.
Que bom. Então quer dizer que daqui a pouco vamos ouvir o teu EP, não é? Vamos ter aqui, vai lançar.
Vão ouvir, sim, senhora. Em breve. Está mesmo aqui à portinha.
Espero
Está
contar
mesmo à
consigo.
portinha, está.
Não é? Espero contar consigo aqui para falar para nós o processo todo.
Teria todo o gosto e muito obrigada por terem-me convidado também. Fico muito feliz e vou quase certeza voltar. É só mandarem uma mensaginha que eu lá estou.
Com certeza.
Na primeira fila. É um gosto para mim,
Obrigada. Obrigada por ter participado também e ter aceito o nosso convite e desejo todo sucesso para si.
Muito obrigada, muito obrigada.
Obrigada. Continuação de uma boa noite para ti.
Deste presente
chosarinkawa zanu ndi nyimbo zobeba za mu Africa pamalonje ndi ine Stella Longwe bwera ndizavine mwa Africa loweruka kuyambira nthawi ya 7 koloko mpaka 8 koloko madzulo ndipo yobwereza 4 koloko mpaka 5 koloko mamawa. DJ Danix
kumapusha mangini
kupusha bwerani mudzavine nyimbo zabwino za mu Africa ndi ine Stella Longwe pamalonje. Channel Africa, kalilole wa Africa.
Conversations that are building Africa. Building Africa. This is Channel Africa.
Muito bem, e esta foi a entrevista que nós tivemos com a Alice, ela que lançou o seu primeiro single, Sombras, e é uma música afro-lusitana, como ela disse, uma mistura do fado e também ritmos africanos, isto da Guiné-Bissau. E muito bem, vamos aqui continuar com a nossa programação, que daqui a pouquinho está a terminar, e vamos falar aqui da comida moçambicana. Já falámos da capulana, o pano africano, que muitos países, não só Moçambique, mas muitos países daqui do continente africano usam como uma vestimenta, mas também como uma tradição, como é em Moçambique. E vamos falar agora também da comida. Por exemplo, em Moçambique, a comida típica são simples e fáceis de fazer e sempre experimentam a cozinha. São fãs de pratos de frango que vão adorar e normalmente é acompanhada com arroz de coco. Se estiverem em Maputo, não perca a oportunidade de experimentar. É um frango à zambesiana, um prato típico de Moçambique, é feito com o leite de coco, não é mesmo? E depois marinado com leite de coco e com, como é que se diz, o alho, o piripiri, e depois põe-se na brasa, isto ao lume, e vai tostando, não é? O frango. E também temos a comida de Guiné-Bissau, que é o fungi, o prato ou pirão, não é? Que é acompanhado, muito comum na gastronomia angolana, tradicionalmente servido com prato que tem molhos como a famosa moamba de galinha, carne seca, calulu e peixe e cabidela, não é mesmo? E também isto na cozinha cabo-verdiana, a variada da gastronomia de origem do mar, não é? E temos a base popular cabo-verdiana é o milho, preparado em diferentes maneiras, acompanhada normalmente com carne, feijão, a mandioca, a batata doce, e mais conhecido é apreciado o prato de cachupa. E já ouvi falar que existe a cachupa pobre e a cachupa rica, não é mesmo? Mas são pratos típicos do país. E também na Guiné-Bissau tem a comida, que é a combinação da gastronomia portuguesa com a africana. A sua cozinha tradicional caracteriza-se por um sabor forte e picante, com limão e a pimenta. São condimentos essenciais. O arroz é o prato típico do país e também existem molhos de caldo, geralmente feitos de peixe, mariscos, frango ou carne, não é mesmo? E também tem o chabéu e o óleo de palma, são as gorduras vegetais da região. Em relação aos vegetais, a baguete, a ganja, isto que é conhecido como quiabo, não é mesmo? E também tem o pudim de ferro, isto que é uma caldeirada de arroz e legumes. E também em São Tomé e Príncipe também tem a cachupa, não é? São praticamente, gostam mais de que estão rodeados do mar, tem mais comidas assim como frutos do mar, não é mesmo? O peixe, além de búzios de terra e com menos frequência o frango, dizia. O acompanhamento geralmente é a banana, aqui mais, que é mais consumida como prato principal, isto fruto chamado fruto pão. E depois tem alguns outros legumes e algumas folhas e ervas, não é mesmo? Dentre estas há muito comum, usada praticamente em todos os pratos locais, chamada micoco. Então, eles também têm a cachupa, diferente maneira de fazer, mas também tem a sua maneira de preparar. E também tem a cozinha portuguesa, não é? Que é muito rica. Geralmente nós conhecemos mais pelo bacalhau, mas também tem a sardinha, tem outros aspectos, não é, da culinária portuguesa que também influenciou na gastronomia dos países da língua portuguesa. E agora vamos aqui passar a nossa... já estamos quase aqui a chegar ao ar e vamos ter aqui a Nombuço, não é mesmo? Que vai entrar aqui no ar e vai dar continuidade à programação de hoje, que estamos a ter aqui no Prison Break, e estamos aqui a trazer a nossa diversidade linguística. E hoje aqui trouxemos o português para deixar aqui os nossos ouvintes saberem mais sobre a tradição, os costumes e também a cultura dos países da língua portuguesa. A língua portuguesa é uma das línguas que o Canal África transmite para diferentes países e várias outras, como é que podemos dizer, regiões daqui do continente africano, asiático, europeu e também o sul-americano. Mas vamos aqui de novo dar uma pausa aqui na música e a Nombuço vai entrar de volta aqui na programação que estamos a ter aqui no Prison Break este sábado. Acho que o nosso estúdio tudo tido que podes. Can you play the promo, please?
SABC News.
Can I cut? Must I wait? Or can
The African Perspective.
So my.
Your headlines this hour: Rwandan genocide fugitive appears before South African court, and Mozambique's former finance minister faces extradition to the U.S. over corruption scandal. Good morning, I'm Nosihle Zuma. Rwandan fugitive Fulgence Kayishema, who was wanted for his alleged role in the killings of about 2,000 people during the 1994 genocide in that country, has appeared in South Africa's Cape Town Magistrate Court after his arrest in Paarl in the Western Cape province earlier this week. Kayishema yesterday denied any involvement, though he said he was sorry for the killings of the 1994. The matter was postponed to the 2nd of June. The 61-year-old has been wanted since 2002, when he was indicted by the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda over his alleged role in the Nyange Church massacre. Fulgence faces 5 charges, including fraud and contravening the Immigration Act 13 of 2002 and the Refugee Act 130 of 1998. South Africa's National Health Department says it is, in what it terms, a race against time to find the source of the cholera outbreak. The number of laboratory-confirmed cholera cases that the Jubilee District Hospital in Hammanskraal, north of Pretoria, dealt with by yesterday evening stood at 44. Now, that's according to the latest update from the Gauteng Health Department. It says currently 74 patients have been admitted to the hospital due to gastrointestinal infection. 21 people have died from cholera in Hammanskraal and 1 in the Free State province. The National Health Department spokesperson is Foster Mohale.
What we don't know is where the contamination is taking place. A number of teams that are working around the globe in order to try to find out where could the contamination took place. They are running the tests from time to time in order to try to find the source of water contamination in Hammanskraal. Hence, we are trying to test the water from different points at different times in order to find what could be the possible cause of contamination.
The government of Cameroon says more than 30 women abducted by separatist rebels for protesting illegal taxes imposed on them have been released. The women were taken earlier this month from Babanki, a farming village in the northwest region of the Central African country along the border with Nigeria. Now, according to a local government official, the separatists were collecting monthly payments from children, women and men, imposing taxes on couples before they got married and forcing families to pay $1,000 to bury their relatives. Nearly 5 years after he was arrested at a South African airport, Mozambique's former finance minister has lost a last-ditch court appeal and faces extradition to the United States over a $2 billion corruption scandal related to loans to Mozambican state-owned companies. U.S. prosecutors allege that Manuel Cheng, Mozambique's finance minister from 2005 to 2015, was involved in a scam that ultimately defrauded American and international investors. It's alleged that huge sums of money lent by international banks to Mozambique and guaranteed by Mozambique government were meant for a series of maritime projects but disappeared in bribes, kickbacks and other illegal payments. Cheng is accused of receiving about $17 million in bribes in the hidden debts scandal. The Mexican authorities have released 175 migrants, including some unaccompanied children. They were crammed in a truck trailer in the southern state of Chiapas. Officials say they stopped the truck at a checkpoint when they heard shouting and banging. The driver said to have refused to let the migrants out. Most of the migrants were from Guatemala. The recap of your top story: Rwandan fugitive Fulgence Kayishema, who was wanted for his alleged role in the killing of about 2,000 people during the 1994 genocide in that country, has appeared in South Africa's Cape Town Magistrate Court after his arrest in Paarl in the Western Cape province earlier this week. And for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Nosihle Zoma.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
And welcome to the last hour of Out and About with myself, Nombuso Mahlangu. And we are out today, as of course living up to our name, Out and About. We are out at the Prison Break Market in Lone Hill here in Kailami. And like I promised you that we'll be speaking to some vendors, but we didn't just choose any vendor. We chose very interesting people to hang out with and chat with and probably have something, to drink, or something to drink, which of course I can't have, but I really really have FOMO for those who are going to be tasting. With me right now, I've got Jessica Rogers. But before I tell you about Jessica Rogers from Wilde Beer, let me just please ask you to engage with us on our socials, because, of course, I think after this, you're going to be wanting to know her social media tag or even the phone number to say, hey, where can we get this lady? Because we need something to drink for our party or whatever it is celebration that you may have. So we are on the DSTV Audio Bouquet on channel 808, and we're also on OpenView on channel 628. And you can also tweet us and tell us what you think about beers and what's your experience about beers, and if you like them or if you're more of a wine person, on our WhatsApp line on +27 63 406 9126. And again, our WhatsApp line is +27 63 406 9126. We're also on Facebook at Channel Africa. So like I was saying, I've got Jessica Rogers here from Wilde Beers. Jessica, welcome. I understand you spoke to us earlier on the week, actually on Africa Day, and today we still want to continue in celebration, of course, with your beers. Tell us a bit about yourself and about your shop and about the beers that you guys make.
Right, so I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much. I'm Jessica. I'm from Wilde Beer Brewing Company, and we're in shed number 7 of the Poor House here at Prison Break Markets. So we are a craft brewery, so we brew right on site. One of the really amazing things about Prison Break Markets is that everything is done, right in the shops. Nothing is just resale. So we brew in the back, and we have a tap room right in the front. And we're primarily an ale brewery, so we we specialize in seasonal ales, but we do have a lot of guest taps. We have lagers on tap, so there really is something for everyone.
So let's talk about the seasons, and I think we were talking about this earlier on, about the seasonal stuff. Do you have specific crafts for specific seasons, or are they grown in different seasons? How does it go?
So you definitely would want to, drink different beers in different seasons. So generally in summer you would have lighter beers, in winter you would have darker beers. It's really warming to have a dark beer in winter. So there's kind of a beer for every season and for the little bits in between.
And I was interested also in where the is it barley? The grains, basically.
Yes.
I'm not that much clued up about beer. But where the grains are actually grown, are they mostly grown in Africa or abroad?
So this year's barley is the primary ingredient of beer. And we source all our barley from South Africa. There's an occasional specialty malt that is imported, but it is primarily African barley that we use for our beer.
And your name, is it an Afrikaans name? Wilde, I know it's like a wild in Afrikaans. Yeah. Where does it come from?
So none of us are Afrikaans, amazingly enough. So the name Wilde Beer actually came from an old, the wildebeest, they say, there's an old African tale that the wildebeest was made from the leftover body parts of all these animals. So God took the mane of a lion, the head of a locust, the tail of a lion, and the body of a horse, and the horns of a buffalo, and brought these all together and made the wildebeest. Kind of in the same way, beer is this amalgamation of different ingredients that comes together and, makes such a variety as well. So, kind of what Wilde Beer also hints at is wild beer. So we try and make, beer less clinical. It's this, although it's made in a controlled environment, there is still, an art involved with making beer. There's these recipe development that takes place. We're actually growing quite a lot of the ingredients on site to introduce into our beers as well.
Nice. Listen, Jessica, let's take a quick break, and after the break, we'll come back to you for more. Okay.
Jean-Jacques Thibondo sur Mix Vibration.
Nous allons célébrer avec vous nos 57 ans. Ça fait 57 ans que cette station est en vie. Vous ne le saviez peut-être pas, parce que il y a certaines personnes qui se posent encore la question. Ils sont où ces gens? Nous sommes en Afrique du Sud, en République sud-africaine. Nous émettons à partir de Johannesburg et précisément à Auckland Park. Envoyez-nous vos messages. Envoyez-nous des messages de vœux, des messages d'encouragement. Nous aimons être encouragés. Nous aimons être encouragés avec vous. Nous voulons vous donner le meilleur de ce que nous sommes. Et pour ça, nous avons besoin de travailler ensemble.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa. Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.
And welcome back to Out and About. I am still with Jessica Rogers from Wilde Beers, and we are doing a bit of beer tasting. Not us, of course, but, people that are rather far from working in the machines. So, Jessica, can you take us through the beers that you have for us today?
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned before, we have 12 beers and ciders on tap. What I have right here is just a selection of 5. So, right here we have our lager. So a lager is generally, it's as South Africans, we generally do drink lager. So everyone is familiar with a lager. So that's quite an easy, light drinking beer. Over here we have an a blonde ale. So that would be for springtime. So that's a very light but quite malty beer. But also very, easy drinking, easy going beer. Yeah. Over here we have a golden ale, so that's a summer migration. That one is also quite a light beer, also a malty beer, but it's quite light hopped. So hops basically means it's got a little bit of bitterness, it's got that beautiful aroma and a bit of fruitiness as well. Then we're moving over to Autumn Descent, and that is an amber ale. So that one is perfect for this kind of weather, a little bit windy, slightly chilly, and it's a warming, very malty beer as well. Right at the end, we have a honey porter. So a porter is almost like a stout, but it is a little bit lighter, a little bit sharper, but it's got that beautiful, dark, kind of creamy and malty and caramelized kind of flavors. So 2% of the 5% alcohol in this honey porter comes from honey from our hives and the property in this area.
Oh, that's beautiful. So now where can people get hold of you if they can't reach you here at the Prison Break Market?
So the best way to contact us is via Instagram or via email. So we're info@wildebeer.co.za. We also do, mobile taps that go out, and we can draft at, weddings and events. If you want to get us on our social media, it's you can find us on Facebook. Otherwise, our Instagram handle is wildebeer.sa. It's WILDEBEER.SA.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm sure I'll have my friends come through to taste, as I can't taste. But that was a beautiful presentation, and I believe that my colleagues after work, they will be tasting. So we've got Nicholas Bowes from Dreambox up next. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll have Nicholas with us.
Africa at Play with Neto, N-E-T-O, Chairman.
Is there a player that you've experienced in your 21 years of coaching and you like, this is Adel Amrouchi right there?
I can't say because I love all my players. I can't say for this one or that one, but, really, I have very good contact with all my players. I don't think I have any issue with one player for 21 years. You see, when you have player like Dennis Olic from Kenya, he was the captain, he's a legend, and you put him out from the team, and you take the captaincy and you give him to Wanyama, and you put him in the bench. And after I leave, and people ask him, who is the best coach in your career? He say, they are Gusmuli and Coach Adel. You see, I don't say I was tough with him, but I was correct. Papa, you come late for the training, you don't come for the camp. Goodbye, stay at home.
Discipline.
You are my friend when you respect the rule for the team. The media can write, he can say, the social media, he can write, he can say what they want. I swear I don't listen for them, because football for me is passion. For that, no one can control me.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. We are on OpenView Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
And welcome back to Out and About. And I have Nicholas Bowes in his beautiful pink Dreambox shirt here, or rather t-shirt. Nicholas, welcome. Please tell us a bit about Dreambox.
Okay, so we are a fun photography studio. So inside we have 14 different little booths. Each of them come with their own little design and theme. We have a rubber duck room, we have an upside down bedroom, we have a confetti room, which we ask you to please keep until last. It gets very messy, but it's the last little fun experience before you guys leave. We charge 165 Rand per person. That gives you guys an hour of fun inside. We're just trying to provide you guys with a bit of an escape from outside reality. You get to take as many photos as you would like, have fun. It's all about content creation. So once you get inside, let your fun side out and don't be too embarrassed to take some fun photos.
I mean, you just took me on a quick tour in there, and it's just beautiful. I mean, every room, you literally want to go in there. And I know this might not even be appropriate, but I saw an OnlyFans booth as well in
We
there.
read top to bottom, fans only.
Oh, do we read from bottom to top?
Only top to bottom,
Top
fans
to bottom.
only.
Fans only. Okay, now I see. All right, it makes sense. Because I was like, I see kids coming
Yeah,
in
I know.
and you seeing OnlyFans. So how many people do you have visiting your store?
So this market gets very, very busy. We have a limit of about 50 people just to make sure that you guys are provided ample service by our staff inside. So we have staff that patrol the floor, and if you're comfortable with it, you can hand your device across to them and they'll be there to assist you in taking photos, providing you with some poses. But yeah, so that's why we have that cap, but we get really busy.
And do you do on-site booths as well?
We are doing a bit of a test at the moment called Dreambox Go, where we can bring a box to you. So if you're hosting an event somewhere, we can provide a box. You tell us what you would like inside the box, and then we can bring some staff to run the box for you at your event.
Perfect.
But yeah.
I was asking the same thing to Jessica. Are you here every day, or is it just weekends only?
Only Friday through Sunday, 10 to 4:15, and that 4:15 slot is the last booking, so you then have until 5:15 to complete your hour of pictures. But yeah, only Friday through Sunday.
All right. Thank you so much. I guess the name says it all. Before I let you go, Dreambox.
Yeah, it's a dream in each box.
Perfect. A dream in each box. And that was Nicholas Bowes from Dreambox, one of the vendors out here at the Prison Break Market. After this short break as well, we'll have Jimmy Navis talking to us about all things mental health and hustlers hacks for entrepreneurs.
Bonjour à tous. Nous aimerions entendre votre voix sur notre station de radio. Faites-nous plaisir et envoyez un petit mot ou un message de salutation à vos proches ou à vos présentateurs préférés de Channel Africa. Que vous soyez en Afrique, dans la diaspora ou n'importe où ailleurs dans le monde, nous voulons vous entendre. Envoyez vos messages de dédicace par email à info@channelafrica.co.za ou postez sur notre page Facebook, Twitter et Instagram avec le hashtag dédicace. Vous pouvez aussi nous faire une note vocale sur notre WhatsApp +27 66 408 87 42.
Channel Africa relaunched on the 1st of July, and we promise to continue giving you enticing content, shows that are out of this world.
Attention, please.
Okay, so you've missed a few shows and some of our great content. Fear not, because we've got a plan for you. For quality podcast, go to our website to get some of that great content that you missed. www.channelafrica.co.za and go to the program tab and follow instructions. There you will find our new lineup and riveting content from across Channel Africa. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on OpenView Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Here on Out and About, we just had some very interesting vendors from here at the Prison Break Market in Lone Hill, Kyalami. We spoke to Nicholas from Dreambox. I mean, the boxes in there are quite dreamy, so to speak. They're very beautiful. Actually, whatever you want for content, like he said, it's for content creation. It's quite beautiful in there. There's 14 different boxes that you can visit or even take pictures yourself, and there are people that can assist as well if you don't know how to use your own camera, but I doubt most content creators don't. It's really beautiful in there. And we also had Jessica from Velder Beers with 5 different craft beers, and like I said, my colleagues will taste afterwards, not now. And right now we're talking to rather about more important and I think something that is hardly spoken about, mental health for entrepreneurs. You know, we had titled it Hustlers, but I think entrepreneurs, you know, it's more businessy and more serious. So, you know, being an entrepreneur has both benefits and drawbacks when it comes to mental health. You know, on a positive note, you run your own business and decide where you want to work, and even when and how long your working hours should be. And if you want to give yourself a Monday off, you do so. But the downside of entrepreneurship is that it's guaranteed that your business, well, it isn't guaranteed that your business will always be a success and generate revenue. And this in turn, it can have negative effects on your mental health and physical health as a point. And right now, joining us, we've got entrepreneur and musician Jimmy Navis. Good day, Jimmy Navis. How are you doing?
Yo, what's up? I'm good, and yourself?
I'm well, thanks. Thank you so much that you said yo. You know, I thought you're going to come with a serious businessman voice saying good day, how you doing, ma'am? So now I'm definitely sure that I'm talking to the Jimmy Navis.
No, when I heard you say, you know, like hustlers versus entrepreneurs, I mean, these days, I guess they're all kind of one in the same, you know, because the hustle never stops.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't. And I think people are really coming to a realization that it's not as easy as it looks. You know, you see something on TV or you see a product and you think, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to go for. You see a gap rather, and you say, actually, I'd like to fill this gap, you know, with a business. And when you start it, it shocks you, right? That it's not as easy.
Yeah.
And we find a lot of people just deciding to back down. You know, what can you say about mental health and maintaining it as an entrepreneur?
I mean, I think there's this thing online that says, I quit my 9 to 5 so I can be my own boss, and now I work 24/7.
I've seen
And so,
that.
you know, I think it's yeah, you know, and I think it is a misconception. I think a lot of people don't know that entrepreneurship it's a marathon. You know, it's not just something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of commitment. And along with that type of schedule, you need to be able to manage yourself and manage your mental health, manage your self-care, you know, and it's about self-awareness, and it's a very beautiful journey if you are able to navigate it well and really use the tools that are out there, because it is something that I think a lot of people need to grow into. You know, you don't always get a book that tells you how everything's going to go. I think a lot of entrepreneurship is handling surprises and being able to manage yourself throughout the ups and downs.
Yeah. And I mean, what would you say are the most vital things that one should rather try and educate themselves on before even embarking on this beautiful journey?
So like I said, you know, practicing self-care is vital. You know, I think especially now, I mean, if I look at my parents, you know, they never knew much about self-care. It wasn't a priority. But I think we're so fortunate to live in a time where self-care is something that we got to like prioritize. I think a support system is also just vital for development. You know, whether it be your friends, your colleagues, mentors, that kind of thing. Setting boundaries, not being afraid to, get in touch with professional help or therapy, finding different outlets. And really, it all just, I think for me, it starts with the mind, and making sure that your mind is in the right place.
Yeah. And I mean, I can imagine, that there's like, actually, how do you even approach the stigma? I want to tackle the stigma of mental health in the entrepreneurship community.
Yeah, I think that again, there is this type of like tough persona of being entrepreneur where it's like team no sleep, but the truth is you do need the sleep, I think especially now, more than ever, like if you don't want to, if you want to make sure that you don't burn out, you got to be able to put in practices that can give you a better balance of life, give you a better quality of life. And I think that a lot of facing the stigma is, number one, first of all, understanding, what you want out of this and getting your mind right and
Yeah.
ready. But number two, I think it's also sharing. I think the more that we share with one another, the more we educate ourselves, the less of a mountain this can all feel like, because I think it's something that we all experience. And a lot of people, entrepreneurship can be a very lonely road, So I think it's important that we share and we talk. And I mean, even just, I look at platforms like the My Community Connects platform from Vuma, where it connects people with mentors. I mean, I can't stress enough how important it is to have mentors in your field.
Yeah.
People who have walked the path, who can almost give you guidance, that can help you understand what the road looks like. And I think especially, in this day and age, again, I speak, as somebody from Athlone, where, having role models and real life examples in your community, it's such an important part in success, and I think especially when we look at communities and we look at uplifting communities, these are the type of conversations that we need to be having to really make sure that we don't all burn out, but rather share the success and share all these vital elements that really keep everything moving.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about sharing the success, can you share with us maybe some of the stories of entrepreneurs who've prioritized their mental health and seen positive results in their businesses?
Yeah, I think it's so interesting. Again, I will say that, when I look at my parents, they are people that come from a school where it wasn't necessarily prioritizing your mental health. It was like you work hard, you get things done, you put in your hours, and then, even me with my businesses and through my music career, I remember when I think when I was about 25, I experienced my first real burnout, and nothing prepares you for that. It is the most jarring experience where your body just kind of shuts down because you're so overwhelmed. There's so much happening. And a lot of the times these things can lead to like depression. It can lead to, almost like feeling stuck. And it can actually shy you away from the things that brought you the most joy, And I think when I look at how I started to prioritize my mental health, how that started to change the way that I did business. It started to change the way that I did my music career, because I understood that you can't just be working all the time. You need to find spaces for the things that bring you joy. You need to take breaks. You need to prioritize your friends and your family. These are the things that are going to, bring longevity. And I mean, I've been doing music for over 10 years now. And I think for me, that's I owe my balance in life as to one of the reasons why I've been able to find success.
And I guess music is also a business. It's also entrepreneurship, and I think most people miss it, correct?
Listen, let me tell you, I've been saying that since day one,
Yeah.
because nobody can tell you. No, everybody thinks that they know, but they really don't know. And the thing is that it is one of those, when you are a musician and you are starting your own thing, a lot of it is about, you're building a brand and you need to be able to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You need to be able to wear many hats. You're not only the voice, you're also the businessman, you're the promoter, you're the photographer sometimes. And I think a lot of creatives feel that way, and they often get undermined by other industries because people don't see all the hard work that happens behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But yes, I've learned a lot of my entrepreneurial skill from my music career over the years. I mean, even things like negotiating. I've worked with many brands over the years and those type of things. I mean, before influencers kind of really became a thing, there were partnerships and campaigns,
Yeah.
And yeah, I think of invaluable experiences that I've learned through that.
And lastly, as we're wrapping up, Jimmy, any advice for entrepreneurs that think they might be struggling with mental health and are scared that it might impact them negatively or even their businesses?
I think that unfortunately we still have a stigma towards therapy. And it's so ironic because it really is one of the things that will, give you guidance. And I like to think of therapy as almost like, in businesses, you get performance reviews. I feel like therapy is almost like a self-evaluation.
I like
you get
that.
to have a performance review on like just where you at, what brought you here, where you want to go. And so I think it's such an important thing, especially for a lot of entrepreneurs. You are your own business. A lot of the time, it's small teams, it's small groups, it's a lot of having to carry the load. And so I encourage, all the entrepreneurs out there, all the bosses, all the directors, all the future CEOs, make sure that you have a balance in your life that includes therapy. Don't be afraid to share what's on your mind. And I think for me, my personal agenda is always to create more vulnerability. I think that's the one thing that really brings us together. And I think that there's so much that we can learn from one another. So don't be scared to share your experiences, even your downfalls, because it's a part of the journey to success.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for making time to, help us understand or learn more about, entrepreneurship, but most importantly about mental health, as we are still even on Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you for joining us, Jimmy.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Thank you. And that was Jimmy Navis, entrepreneur and musician, as you may all know him. And I hope people do support his business as much as they supported his music. And let's take a quick break. And after the break, I've got more interesting things and music and people to talk to. my goodness. Listen, I am definitely having the time of my life. That was a beautiful, beautiful song. And I'm sure our technical producer in studio, Tito, is quite jealous because she also mixes. Good morning or good afternoon, Nina. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. I mean, people, I'm sure they're shocked. They're like, now who are you talking to? Guys, this is beautiful. I mean, imagine listening to this type of mix or song and you are watching, there's a windmill just in front of me, just, going around nice and slow. There's our OB vans and there is different stalls and there's kids playing. There are people walking. It's just a beautiful sunny day out here in Kailami at the Prison Break Market. And with me, I've got our unsigned artist, and this is always our favorite feature, Elina Huata. That's her original government name, but she goes by the name of DJ Nina. How are you doing, Nina?
I'm good. Loving it here.
Man, Nina is from Zimbabwe, right? But you are currently based in the US. Tell us about that.
So I was born in Zimbabwe. I spent most of my childhood there, and then I moved to South Africa, did some high school here and my college here, and I moved to the U.S. So now I'm based in America. First, I used to live in New York for quite a bit of time. Then I moved to Dallas because, it's a lot cheaper, and I'm always traveling.
Yeah.
So...
And tell us about music. I mean, how did you start music? Did you start it when you moved abroad, or did you start it here in Africa? And I know, a lot of your influences are because of our culture and our heritage.
Yeah, so music has been, I can't really say it's been in my family. I'm literally the first person out of my family to get into music. But my mom, she introduced us to music. Back in the day, would have like a Discman, and she would bring like... she was in Dallas actually, so she'd come home and bring us Discman with like CDs and stuff, so that was pretty much my introduction to music, and would take home videos, and I used to think I was the coolest rapper on earth,
Yeah.
And then went to school, college, that's when everything kind of blew up. So, like, if you ask my college friends, they'll be like, okay, this makes sense for you. Because everybody...
Yeah.
Because, I don't know what you were doing with mathematics, but music makes sense. Because, I really, really have a big, big love for music. Yeah.
And now tell us about, electronic music. I think that's a genre that most people don't really want to go into.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why is it scary or intimidating for them, but why did you go into it?
Well, for me, it's more so, it's very spiritual. So, one of my mantras really is, stay true to self. And I want people to feel what I feel when I listen to music. Yeah. So, when I listen to music, it, connects me to my ancestral background. It's really... there's a song for everything, and it doesn't... And the crazy thing for me with electronic music is that it incites a feeling without any words in it. Because we're so accustomed to, they were singing about this. But with electronic music, it's no, they weren't singing about anything, but the beat of it kind of takes you through a journey of some sort, and I love that. Yeah. I absolutely... It gives me chills every time. When I'm zoned out, it's I want people to feel what I feel. So it's electronic music just does that for me, and I felt I wanted to give that to people around me, so that's how I ended up getting into electronic music, really.
And how are people receiving it?
It's honestly, I feel like it's a slow, but it's slowly, people are slowly opening up to it, and more and more people are getting accustomed to it. Because, people will be like, oh, no, it's so repetitive. I feel like I've been listening to the same song for an hour. And I'm like, no, you really have to pay attention, because it's not like hip-hop or R&B where it's it completely changes the moment you play the next track. You know what I mean? But, the fluid transition of every song, when you listen to, our legends, of Kulo, the song when they're playing, Black Coffee when they're playing, it's a smooth transition, and every time it's a different song, and you're like, oh my God. So like having to educate people about that, and they're like, oh, okay, now I can, tell the difference. And so, yeah, I feel like people are getting more and more open to receiving it and accepting it.
And now, besides your mom coming home with, music for you to listen to, who educated you on electronic music?
I can't really say it was a person per se. So here's what hit me. So I was in high school and I didn't have a date for for Valentine's.
Wow.
And I was looking so cute in my cute little white dress, for Valentine's. Went to school and Fairy Tale started playing.
Ooh.
And I absolutely loved that song.
And
I was stunned. And I was like, what is this? It really gave me chills. And I think that was the moment for me that not that I had never listened to electronic music before, but that was the moment for me that like, wow. Because I was sad because everybody, my friends had dates and whatnot, and I didn't. And so it was like, wow. So it can incite that feeling, and I wasn't so lonely no more. So I love that about it.
And let's quickly talk about the business of music, as an unsigned artist. I mean, I understand you probably have to market yourself. You have to do a lot of things yourself. How's that going for you?
It's hard. I'll be lying if I say anything, but the nice thing is that you're kind of in control of everything. You putting it in places that you want it to be in. But it's hard to kind of be the jack of all trades, and I hate the fact that it takes away from my creativity because now I have to be a marketing person just so I can get into certain circles. I have to be a DJ one night. I have to be a producer on the other night. So other than that, I feel like on an average, overly looking at everything, it's going all right. I think all the years and work I've been putting in is starting to show, and I love that.
Yeah. And this mix was beautiful. Rather, it's a song called Really featuring, is it Pila Soul?
Pila Soul and Pilo.
Yeah.
Pilos,
How did that come about as we're wrapping up?
I was on tour my first time in 2019, and Pilo started making fun of me, and he's like, "Why are you always saying really?" And I'm like, "Really, Pilo?" And he's like, "Why are you always saying that?" And I was like, and he's like, "Just say that again." And I didn't realize he was recording it, and then he recorded it, and then we had a couple of tracks we were working on, and then he's like, "I've got something to add on to this." I'm sorry. It just brought about a good memory. And then went to the studio, and then he just plugged in the vocals, and boom. Next thing you know, we had a song, and I was like, well, I'm surprised it actually worked out that way, And that's the fun thing about music, and I love that.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Nina, thank you so much for joining us. We don't have much time rather today. As you can see, we want to do everything, a bit of everything here at the market.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for coming through and joining us. And really.
Yeah, really.
Really, Nina. Really, DJ Nina. That is DJ Nina from the US, but originally from Zimbabwe and South Africa. Those are her roots. And she is today's unsigned artist of the day. And it's such a beautiful conversation. I always really like to immerse myself in these conversations, and I hope we'll have you for a longer time next time. And play more of your songs as well. And that is DJ Nina, and we're gonna be playing you out with one of her other songs as well, or rather actually we'll play her song as we close the show. So right now we'll be playing you out with Mame Zala by Simi and Mafikizolo.
Channel Africa, #1 with information worldwide. Channel Africa, playing nothing but African music all day. Channel Africa relaunched on the 1st of July, and we promise to continue giving you enticing content, shows that are out of this world.
Attention, please.
Okay, so you've missed a few shows and some of our great content. Fear not, because we've got a plan for you. For quality podcasts, go to our website to get some of that great content that you missed. www.channelafrica.co.za and go to the program tab and follow instructions. There you will find our new lineup and riveting content from across Channel Africa. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on OpenView Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
And that is Mafikizolo and Simi Mamezala. But before that, we had a very interesting chat with DJ Nina from the States, originally from Zimbabwe and South Africa. And here with me, I've got my other colleague. I have a lot of colleagues that I spoke to today. How are you doing, Stella?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm well, thanks. What are you going to be serving us today from your desk?
Okay, we're going to speak about the African languages and food. And also I'm gonna talk to our guest here. We've got, I think, 2 guests. Yeah, just to talk about Africa. Since it's Africa Month.
Perfect. Let's get into it. I'm leaving you in the capable hands of...
Thank you. Mulandire moni one day makuchokera kuno ku nsika wa prison break komwe tikuulutsira ndiyetu mwezi uno tikusangalira Africa tikamba pamenepa za zilankhulo zakudya chikhalidwe ndi zina ndipo kulitu zosangalatsa kuno ndiyetu apa tiangoti iyayi tichezeko ndithu apa ndi alendo amene ali kuno ku nsika wa prison break kuno ku Johannesburg ndiye pamenepa ndithu ndithu ndi anzanga amene atibwera kuno kuzacheza nafe. Achimwene muli bwanji?
Bwino muli bwanji mayi?
Tili bwino kaino. Ndiye tatiuzeni kuti chakupangitsani kuti mubwere kuno ndi chani ile kusangalira ndithu Africa mwezi uno kusangalira Africa.
Yeah, monga ngati ne mmodzi wa African kapena kuti munthu wakudwa kuno ku Africa ndimanyadira kwambiri cha continent yathu ino ya Africa zakudya komanso ndikamamvera zakwathu kuno ku Africa ngati ku Channel Africa ndimakhala munthu osangalala kwambiri ndithu ife yake ndapezeka kuno ntamva kuti kumeneku kula African Day ndakhala osangalala kwambiri moyo wangawo.
Aizo sanga ndine dzina losumula nene kuti dzina ndinu ndani?
Ine dzina langa ndine Steven Kadamanja kapena known as also JJ Kwazi. Pepani kuti ndangela ku chizungu komabe dzina linaso labadela limene madzuka nalo kwambiri ngati kuno ku Joburg ndi JJ Kwazi.
Chabwino sangala kwambiri aposo tiliso ndithu alendo athu pano tikudziweni zina. Chabwino tasanga kuti mwatipeza kuno ndiye chakupangitsani kuti mubwere kuno ndi chani ndithu kuti muzatichezere tatifotokozereni.
Ine monga mu Africa ndimanyadira kwambiri kukhala munthu wa in Africa ndi china chilichonse chimene chikukhudza Africa I need to be there. So when I heard kuti kuli kukumbukira ngati Africa ndaonetsetsa kuti ndikakhale konko. That's why I am here.
Ndithu tasangala ndithu ndiye apa tikusangalala zakudya za mu Africa tatifotokozeni kuti inu makonda kudya chani cha mu Africa zakudya zingapo ndithu tangotiuza kono.
Africa ndi dziko labwino kwambiri whereby timadya zakudya zosiyana like me ndimadya ngati nsima rice chinangwa mbatata ndi zambiri zimene ife ngati ma Africa timalima ndimakhala osangalala ndi zimene zonse.
Koma ndisimnachilepo ndiwo sinanga ungajeza uyapanda ndiwo
timasangalala kwambiri chifukwa chonena kuti ndili patre mgulu la angoni therefore angoni timakonda kwambiri nyama. nyama timadya kwambiri basi poti thanziso mwapo ndi apo tena kudyaso masamba kwambiri ntoliro tambiri timene tili kuti nkhwani tichocho.
Zosangalatsa nanga inu achimwene pano.
Ine ndimakonda sima ndi chimene ndimakhulupirira kuti ichi ndi chakudya chimene ku Africa na kuno maiko ambiri amadya kuchokera ku Nigeria ka ku West Africa kufika kummawa ku East Africa ka ku Kenya kumayendedwanso maiko afufu papa shima zosiyana zonsezo ndi chinthu chimodzi kusonyeza kuti ndi chakudya chenicheni chakuno ku Africa. Ndiye ngati sima ndimayika kuti ndi chakudya chenicheni kumabweranso zakudya zina ngati zamasamba zimene ngakheso pa za umoyo amanena kuti zidya ndithu zamasamba monga ngati ndikamadya zakudya ngati zimenezo ndiye ndimadziwadi kuti ine ndena Africa weniweni waku Africa ndithu.
Ndithu zosangalatsa. Ndiye mukuona kuti zakudya muno mu Africa zikulemekezedwabe malinga ndi kuti pano kuli zikhalidwe zosiyanasiyana zochokera ku Ulaya kumabwera zakudya zosiyanasiyana pa mumava ena kuti mapasta machani ndiye zakudya zimene zikulemekezedwa mu Africa pa mbado umene tili nawo pano.
Monga timadziwadi zabwera kuchokera kavinidwe ngati kuvina ngati zachikhalidwe kamene kuti kacha kubwera kuzakudya zinthu zambiri anthu ambiri aku Africa akukopera maiko akunja ngati ku Ulaya kapena nditi ku Europe kandi ku Asia ka ku America koma ku Africa kuno tili ndi zinthu zathu zabwino ngakhale ma restaurant akumapezeka ngati mwachidule kati African cuisine kumene kumapezeka zakudya zenizeni za Africa. Ndiye tikamadya zakudya ngati zakuno ku Africa timakhala osangalala kwambiri moti tikaona ngati anthu enanso amanekera kuti kudya ndithu kapena kupanga malonda kupititsa patsogolo kapena chizungu chove kuti promote zinthu zakwathu uno ku Africa.
Chabwino ndithu ayapo mwalongosola ndithu zakudya pamene panenso ndingonena kuti zimene mwalongosola zinenso ndimazikonda moti ine ndimakonda chimimina kumwera tii mwachizo wa chimimina ndiye apapa kungoti nthawi yakwera njinga nakatha kukuwuzani kuti chimimina amaphika bwanji ndiye ndikhulupirira kuti tikazakumananso sabata yamawa program yathu ya malonje ndizanena ndithu kuti chimimina timaphika bwanji ndiye titathokozatu inu pobwera kuno ku Prison Break tsiku labwino weekend yopambana mutimvesere mazuwa ano pa program ya malonje ndi mzanga Madaphiri.
Ifenso tikhala oyamikira kwambiri potipatsa mpata kupezeka malonga tano ndikuyankhula kwa ma-Africans anzathu. Tiyeni tikweze chikhalidwe chathu cha Africa kuti ifeyo popeza ndife ma-Africa tikhale ndi ma-Africa tisatengere za maiko ena fa anthu tikutengera makacha a maiko ena kusiyana ndi kwathu kuno ku Africa. Ndiye tiyeni tipititse patsogolo ngakhale ana athu tikapititsa patsogolo ana athu sadzatsatira pomwepo zomwe kwambiri.
Zikomo kwambiri ndiye tife tathokozatu potimvera kuno kumsika wa Prison Break kuno kulutsira mu Johannesburg ndithu apa timasangalaza Africa kusangalaza kudya ndithu amene tacheza ndi anzathu apa ndiye tikuthokozani kuti mwakhala nafe ndiye pitizani kumvera ndithu program imene ya Africa Chart Toppers imene itayambe ndithu pompano ndithu ku studio kwathu ku Auckland Park.
Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa. Modern Continental Radio. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective.